have folks in our storm tracker. We have folks downtown. We've got Mississippi, Arkansas. We've got you covered no matter where you are. But first, we want to get right out to First Alert Meteorologist Eric Brill with how much we've gotten, what we can expect throughout the day as well.
So I'm not going to lie, I haven't looked too close at some of the accumulations yet just because, as you could probably imagine, there's a lot going on here. But I have seen some different reports of over 5 inches of snow already, and we still have a number of hours to go before this is all said and done. This picture coming in from Matthew Ferguson over in Olive Branch, Mississippi. A picturesque scene that is going on into Olive Branch right now. And hey, we do appreciate those pictures very much. Feel free to submit those on over to actionnews5.com. Clouds and radar has been active here, as you can imagine, really, since prior to midnight across the Mid-South, and it only will continue to be active here as far as the rest of the AM hours are concerned. The one thing I've been really keeping an eye on is a mix of rain and snow at times has tried to flare itself up to Highway 278 from Clarksdale to Batesville and Oxford over towards Tupelo. Fortunately, it hasn't moved too far to the north yet. With that noted, though, as you can also imagine, the roads really are a mess out there. Taylor Tucker will be giving those traffic reports here momentarily. But here we go, Futurecast. By 8:30 in the morning, we're still seeing some heavier snow for Holly Springs, West Memphis, over towards South Haven, and even into Memphis, the city itself. And the heavier snow, it really will keep on keeping on here through about noon. Now, once we get past noon, between about noon to 2 o'clock, that's when the snow is going to start to taper off a touch, but it's really not out of the Mid-South until we get past 4 o'clock on this Friday afternoon. What can you expect for those snow totals here around the Mid-South? Well, did up the totals here to a 6 to 8 inch range. That does include Hernando, Memphis, Somerville. That area in pink here, you could pretty much expect those 6 to 8 inch totals here across the Mid-South. Down into Oxford, where there might be a little bit of mixing, that's where those snow totals are down just a touch. And up to the north, we're still going to see plenty of snow into Dyersburg, Blytheville, as well as into Poinsett counties, but maybe not quite as much because the thickest snow bands really are along this area in pink. Of course, the weather, it never does come to an end here. What are we going to see on the backside of this as we move into the weekend and into early next week? I'll give you the first alert forecast coming up here at 7:16. Taylor Tucker, I believe you have traffic coming up right now.
Okay, we're going to get to Taylor in just a minute, but right now we want to give you a real-time look at some of the road conditions in North Mississippi.
Yeah, we have our Tavarius Haywood. He has been live in the storm tracker for us all morning long. T-Wood, tell us exactly where you are right now and how things are looking.
Gosh, I'm not sure if you can see right there, guys. That car right there just spun out in the ditch, and he's still going. Well, this just shows you how dangerous these roads are, guys. You definitely want to take your time on these roads. They are very, very slippery. They're snow-packed right now, and people are still driving fast. So you please slow down. This is what we've been preaching and talking about over the past week. When we often see these conditions, you know, we already know how Memphis drivers are, Mid-South drivers are. So please, guys, it's not worth it. Please slow down. We're actually headed to reports of a pileup right now. So these road conditions are to be taken very seriously. As you just saw, that SUV lost control, and it's so easy to lose control of that there. We're only going 25 miles an hour, and we've been slipping and sliding all over the place. Yes, the roads are salted and brine, but that still does not stop you from sliding all over the road. It gives you a little better traction. If you do find yourself sliding, stay on the brakes, both hands on the wheel, and look directly at where you want to go. These road conditions are very, very rough all over town, from Arkansas to Mississippi to North Mississippi. So again, I'm going to bring you continued coverage on road conditions throughout the morning and afternoon. So we're going to head to the Raleigh-Millington exit, I believe, to see what's going on over there. Again, we've had reports of a pileup. We're here in North Mississippi on I-55, right across from Tanger Outlets, and again, the road conditions are pretty rough here. So I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
T-Wood, before we let you go, I wanted to ask once again, when we were tossing to you out there on I-55, it looked like there was a car that was spinning out. Can you again tell us what you saw as we were tossing to you?
Yeah, so that car was going southbound on I-55. We were right near Tanger Outlets when they seemed just kind of lose traction, and then they were just kind of riding along that ditch. And it's unclear if they got out of that ditch. But again, it speaks to the importance of driving slow, staying in those grooves. If you're in front of a car, if a car's in front of you, just stay in the same grooves that there are on the road. So, you know, you don't want to have to drive over, you know, fresh snow, would say. So again, it just speaks to the importance of just slowing down and taking your time, guys. Be late to work. It's okay to be late to work.
Absolutely. Our lives and safety are way more important. Thank you
yeah.
so much, T. Wood, for that update. And I've got to say, as you know, as we were coming in, it was very dicey. I think the saving grace, at least in my instance, is that there weren't a lot of people on the road. And so now that people are starting to get on the roads, things can get a little messy.
Very dangerous out there. We can't underestimate that. It is so slick and slippery. I have four-wheel drive, and it was still very slick out there. It's not something you want to just play around in.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have to drive, don't.
Yeah, stay home if you can. And T. Wood mentioned that he was heading to a pileup. Taylor, are you starting to see more of that happening?
Yeah, all across the board, Ariana. It's just going to be a challenge out there on the roadways, no matter if you're working your side streets or the interstate system. I want to start you out on I-22. This is near Victoria. You got that semi-truck, jackknife there. So it's partially blocking some of those lanes there. And you already only have just 2 lanes to work with in that westbound and eastbound direction. So those cars are really having to squeeze by it. And that is going to cause some major delays there along I-22 near Victoria. So that's one of the many problem spots we're following. Take a look at this. This is I-40 near 269, that westbound direction to get you on that ramp. My camera's not frozen, guys. We got 2 stalled out semi trucks blocking that ramp as well. So for many of those cars, we're just kind of at a standstill and they're trying to figure out how to move around it. And anytime we have those slick conditions, those on and off ramps, they're a problem spot in itself. So that's something to be on the lookout for. It's one of those mornings, what you see is what you get. I-55 at Church Road, snow taking over those lanes there. Really kind of hard to see your lanes. I know my ride in this morning, obviously it wasn't a huge crowd out there, but it still took me 30 minutes, what would usually take me about 10 minutes. So take it slow on the roadways this morning as you're headed out the door. As I mentioned earlier, not just the interstate system, but take a look at all of this. Several cameras up for you this morning. No matter where you're traveling, this is what you're going to see. Slick conditions, not ideal at all. There's your traffic flow map this morning. No green to tell you about, just red. So it's going to be a slow go no matter where you're traveling. Let's talk about your side streets. East Parkway at Poplar. I heard reports of an accident there. Been following it for over an hour now. My friends in Fraser traveling along Danny Thomas near Stage Avenue Northgate, that northbound direction, so coming inbound, partially blocked due to an early morning accident. And along Lamar, my truckers, listen up. I just got reports that we have some power lines down near Shelby Drive. They do have first responders on the scene working to clear that area, but you definitely want to give them the right of way as they tend to not only this problem area, but just areas all across the Mid-South this morning.
All right, Taylor, thank you. A winter wonderland. Pretty out there, but very, very dangerous.
Yes, cold as well. We have Action News 5's Sydney Gray live for us downtown where she's been all morning long. We want to get an update with her on the conditions. Tell us where you are, Sydney, and how it looks outside. It looks good from us. How is it looking from you?
Hey, Andrew and Ari, it looks good here. Still very snowy and obviously still downtown. We moved away from Beale Street to give you a better look at South Main. And gosh, I gotta say, it is so pretty out here. I mean, if you just look at the trees, how gorgeous is this look early this morning? I mean, I know it is slippery. I know we talk about staying safe on the roads, but boy, you cannot get enough of this view. So if you're in the downtown area, take a moment, step outside and take it all in, or maybe just take a photo from your window because it is pretty cold out here. As our photojournalist Bo Bradley shows you video of what we're seeing here on South Main, also want to call attention to the folks who are working hard this morning. You see the gentleman over there, he has been making sure these roads, these sidewalks are clear for folks to walk to and from where they need to go. There's a couple of restaurants over here. There's the Dollar General X store, apartment complexes. And so really folks who are out in this cold weather making sure these roads are clear, they are the real MVP. So shout out to him. Again, if you've got to come outside today, or if you just want to get outside, maybe play in the snow, go sledding, maybe try your luck at ice skating. I don't know, not ice skating, snow. It's pretty soft out here. If you want to do any of those things, just make sure that you are fully bundled up, hat, coat, gloves, scarves, all of the whole 9 yards, and just enjoy what we have to show you. We'll be out here all morning long and bring you more looks of downtown Memphis in this winter weather. Back to you.
And Cindy, before we let you go, we just wanted to ask, you've been out there since 5 o'clock, a little bit before 5 o'clock. How has it changed, and have you run across people? What are they saying with regards to the snowfall, how it's feeling?
So, Andrew, you know, I feel like it's been pretty continuous. I don't think there's been a major change in what I've been able to feel since we've been outside, because the snow has kind of just been coming down steady all morning long. It may feel a hair lighter than what I was feeling maybe about 30 minutes ago, but for the most part, it feels the same. Obviously very cold out. I just saw someone in this area and he was getting his workout on, so snow was not stopping him. I'll try to talk to some more people and see how they are enjoying this winter weather.
All right, thank you, Sydney. Looking good out there. I like that red coat. Thank you. So we know many of you are going to step outside and snap it up in the snow, so we want to see all of your snow videos and pictures, so send them to us. This picture of Oxford is from Dean Douglas, the brother of Andrew Douglas. He called it very peaceful and serene out there. You can see houses and balconies covered in snow. Thank you, Dean, for that picture in Oxford, Mississippi, looking like a winter wonderland there. You can see in this picture how much the snow has piled up overnight. Cars blanketed in snow. That's the table and chairs there. You see covered in snow. Looks to easily be around 2 to 3 inches of snow, all just within a few hours. And we also want to show you, we want to see you and those snow pictures. Use this QR code here on the screen. We'll keep it up for a moment to give you a time to scan. It's a very simple process. Here's how you do it. You hold your phone's camera right up to it. It'll take you right to our Action News 5 website. There you can submit your pictures and videos directly to us here at Action News 5. We want to share your photos and videos on air.
All right, Jerry. Yes, send all the photos you can, please. And switching gears here, though, for those using MATA, we've been following delays to your routes, if you can imagine.
Yeah, no question about it. Interim CEO Bakar Malden gave us an update about what is happening while the winter weather is here. Take a listen.
We are operating our regular fixed route service that will end at 6 p.m. today. And on Saturday, the start time will be at 7 a.m. and it will end at 6 p.m. Our MATA Plus service is on life-sustaining trips only, and our Ready and Groove on-demand service is suspended for today and tomorrow. And our transit center lobbies will be open today from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, if you have any questions about where your bus is or if your bus is running, please be sure to subscribe to the Omni Alerts. And also we have alert banners on our website. We have extended the hours of our call center. Our call center opens up it should have opened up at 5 a.m. until 7 p.m. today, and will be open from 6:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. on Saturday as well. Now, in addition to our regular transportation services, we are happy to support the warming center operation. And if persons need a ride to the warming center, they can call 901-297-1680, and MATA will be dispatched to pick them up and transport them to the warming center. Otherwise, you can always call 297-MATA to our customer service line, and we will be happy to help you get to where you need to go.
All right, that was Interim Madam CEO Bakar Malden. And again, interesting that routes will run regularly until 6 p.m.
Right. And this is a First Alert Weather Day. We are coming to you live right now because of our winter weather event. Special coverage throughout the morning here on Action News 5. In-depth team coverage throughout the morning to give you a first alert to what is happening, and it is significant, and the snowfall is great.
Yeah, and it's still coming down. Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Eric Brill with what we can expect moving forward throughout the day. Hey, Eric.
Well, Ariana and Andrew, certainly has been an active day of weather here all around the Mid-South, and we started with that snow late last night, and it will continue here throughout the rest of the AM and into the afternoon hours. This picture coming in from Michelle over in Covington. Always kind of a good idea when you got a different animal or just an object outside that people have a relative familiarity to see exactly how much snow is around. So if you're going to submit a picture to us, and I'll tell you what, folks, we really do appreciate all the pictures as well as videos that you have sent to us here over at Action News 5. If you have some sort of object object that's a relatively consistent object as far as the size of it, so we can get an idea exactly how much snow is in your neighborhood, that would really much be appreciated. But nonetheless, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of this as far as the weather goes. There is that winter storm warning that is in place for all the Mid-South. It is set to expire at midnight, but really our snow is going to come to an end before that does happen. With that said, though, the Doppler radar has been rather active throughout the overnight hours, and now as we have the sun getting closer to climbing over the horizon, or now it has climbed over the horizon, we are starting to get some better images all around the Mid-South as to what it does look like. Clouds and radar, yeah, we're still seeing a lot of snow throughout the Mid-South. Some of the heavier bands, they've been kind of consistently coming and riding along I-40 from Forest City into West Memphis, into Memphis and points east like Arlington, even Somerville and Brownsville. The good news is, and I know there's a lot of snow out there, so it's not maybe the best news how much snow we do have and the issues that it is causing, but it's that the range snow line has stayed pretty far to the south here, so we haven't really had to deal with the frozen precipitation in the form of freezing rain or sleet really adding up. But over along Highway 278 from Clarksdale into Batesville, as well as Oxford to Tupelo, yeah, that is where we could be seeing some of that frozen precipitation around. Let's talk more about what we have as far as going on in Oxford right now. You can see the downtown square there. It does have some pretty tranquil conditions around, so this is one of those days, honestly. Good idea to just kind of stay tuned here to Action News 5, and we'll continue to give you those latest and greatest updates as the day does continue. Here in Midtown, looking towards downtown, this is the Best Care Home Services camera. You can see Union, couple of cars scooting on by there. Folks, if you do have to go out, just be smart, take it slow out there. There's no point of being a hero, as we will see the snow continuing throughout the rest of the AM and into the early PM hours. Here we go, Futurecast. That rain snow line, keep an eye on that here as far as that pink goes. It is a little bit far to the north as far as what Futurecast is anticipating. It is slightly further to the south, but it's overall doing a fair job. But notice as far as the day does continue, we're still seeing some of these deeper blues around, and that's an indication of the moderate to heavy snow that we have seen over the past few hours, continuing over the next few hours as well. From Mariana and Helena over towards South Haven to Tunica, even into Olive Branch and into Memphis, some of the heavier snow bands at 10:30, and that extends to the east, including Arlington, Lakeland, Somerville, Eads, over towards Bolivar and Brownsville. The deeper the blue, the heavier the snow that is expected on that given time, which is on the upper left-hand portion of your screen. Now notice by 1:30, we start seeing the back edge of the snow as far as the snow shield goes, move from the west to the east, and that will be something that will be going on here, especially after about 1 o'clock. I do think between about 12 to 3 o'clock is when we're going to go from the heaviest snow still falling to starting to see some more moderate snow, and then eventually some lighter snow, and then eventually scooting this system on out of here. But even by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Futurecast not showing the snow around. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see some flurries lingering, but overall, the bulk of this system does look to be done by about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So we still have 8 hours to go before that does ultimately happen. All right, as far as what we have going on with those snow totals here across the Mid-South, did bump some of these up here, and I also messed around with this key that we have. The area in pink, I'm not going to put that in the 6 to 10 inch range, because there are going to be areas that do even exceed 10 inches and probably even in that foot range across the Mid-South, and that does include Memphis. It does include Arlington. It does include Millington, Germantown, Bartlett, really all throughout Shelby County, even into DeSoto County, as well as Fayette County and over into southern Crittenden County. We are going to see some of those heaviest snow totals. Not quite as much down to the south, just because there will be that little bit of rain mixing in, but even then, those snow totals will likely be well over 3 inches of snow. The same idea up towards Dyersburg, where it's not as heavy or as consistent, but it is still coming down at a pretty good clip. 7-day forecast, what we have going on here across the Mid-South as the next 7 days do come and go. The big thing about this is that we will see some sunshine during the day, which is going to help melt some of that snow. But notice our temperatures. It's not like they're that warm, so this isn't going to be a rapid melt process here. And then the overnight hours, we will fall back into the middle to lower 20s. So anything that does melt and it's not able to go into a drain or it's able to evaporate, it's going to refreeze during the overnight hours. And I really think that's going to be a problem, not only for the weekend, but even into early next week. So that really is a thing to keep an eye on after the snow does come to a completion here as far as the snowfall goes. Taylor Tucker, we have obviously seen a lot of snow here throughout the Mid-South over about the past 10 hours or so. I know those roads really have been a bit of a struggle there around the Mid-South, but have we seen any sort of improvement around the region as far as the roads go, or is it still pretty subpar out there?
Yeah, Eric, it's still a mess out there. Got a lot of action happening on your roadways. If you got time, why don't you turn your TV up? Let's talk about it. This is I-22 near Victoria Road. Yeah, that semi-truck had jackknifed there and is partially blocking one lane, those of you traveling in that westbound direction. It's been parked there for a little over an hour now, so no improvements on I-22. I have noticed, though, some of those cars are just trying to squeeze right on by it. So that area not completely blocked off, but as you can see, not the best driving conditions. Can hardly see your lanes there. Let's hop on the I-40 near 269, my friends in Arlington. My camera, it's not frozen. Those cars are just stalled out there on that ramp. We know the deal with those on and off ramps, but those of you trying to get on that ramp, you're not going to be able to do that today because of those two stalled out semi trucks. They've been stalled out for some time now, so waiting on the all clear there, but not the most ideal conditions. Let's take a look on I-40 near Covington Pike. Those of you traveling in that eastbound direction, so maybe headed to the flyover, some more cars that ran off the roadway there. Now, the good news here, we have emergency crews on the scene doing a little bit of paperwork and helping those cars get off of the roadway there, but you're still going to have to take it easy as you're maneuvering around that area. Hopping on the 385, good morning to my friends traveling in that westbound and eastbound direction. About 10 minutes ago, we had a car that ran off the roadway there. It cleared quickly, so the cars are still moving by all of your lanes, at least the ones that are visible. They're open for you, but it's just not ideal, guys. A lot of action on the roadway, so you want to take it as slow as possible. My ride in this morning took me about 30 minutes. Typically, that's a 7 to 8 minute drive. So you know how slow I was moving, and that's what I'd recommend for you. Take a look at your traffic flow map this morning. Can't say we're seeing all green, really seeing red across the board, whether you're in Arkansas, North Mississippi, or traveling within that 240 loop. Everyone is moving as slow as possible. It's not the morning to speed. Again, definitely want to take your time for your morning travels. Let's talk about your side streets. You know, I told you about an accident at East Parkway and Poplar. It took us some time, but we cleared that accident. And along Danny Thomas between Stage Avenue and Northgate, things have started to open up for us so you can travel in that area. Now we're waiting on the all clear for Shelby Drive and Lamar. You know, we had some power lines that fell down. We were even seeing a fire at one point. Emergency crews are still on the scene working to clear that. So I said a mouthful there. It's just a very busy morning for us. Take it easy on the roadways.
Well, you heard it from Taylor Tucker. Traffic is a mess.
Yeah, to say the least,
Yeah.
right? And we expected this, of course, if you don't have to go out and about. We would advise to just stay home.
Right, and that's the thing. We give first alerts here on Action News 5 because we want you to plan and prepare, not scare. We're planning and preparing for you a week ago.
Yeah.
Talking about this snowstorm. Very important so that you can have all the information and then decide the best bet, the best plan of action for you and your family.
Yeah, and just a reminder, we are going to be here with live in-depth team coverage through 8 o'clock here on Action News 5, and then we're going to go to our digital channels after that. But as we mentioned, we've got crews all around the Mid-South on the ground, just taking a look at how things are going out there.
Right. We have Action News 5. Stephanie Douglas live in Midtown, Memphis right now, outside of our studios here at 1960 Union Avenue to give us an update. What you seeing, Stephanie? Good morning.
Good morning to you guys, Andrew and Ariana. Like you said, I am outside of our Action News 5 studio. And look, guys, the snow is coming down. I know you can see it just falling all over my hair and my eyelashes. Some of you guys are just waking up to seeing this morning's first snowfall. And so I just want to give it a second and turn my camera to show you guys what we're seeing out here outside of our Action News 5 studio. The snow, look at this, guys, gorgeous, so pretty. And I've actually been out here taking some measurements. I have my handy dandy ruler, so I just want to plant this in the ground so you can see how much has accumulated so far. Guys, we're looking at about 5 inches already since 7 o'clock, 7:23-ish this morning. So which is right on the money of what our meteorologist, Eric Brill, predicted. So I just want to switch gears a little bit. The road is a little bit quiet. Let me flip my camera so you guys can see that. But this right here has been cleared away somewhat. This is Union Ave. You can see that one lane is clear in each direction, but guys, don't get it confused because it is still slick and slippery out here. So if you don't need to be out here, do not do that. What Scott Morgan, our director of public works, says that crews are working around the clock right now. They have 2,000 tons of salt, which they have been treating the roads with, making sure that you guys are having a safe drive if you need to be on the road. But guys, don't do it. Stay home. Get warm, be safe. But this is what we're seeing right outside of our Action News 5 studios. Ari, Eric, and Andrew, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Stephanie, first, before we let you go, we have a quick question for you. First of all, I want to say the roads on Union are looking a lot better than when many of us were driving in this morning. Have you seen any salt trucks? Are you seeing a lot of cars on the road right there on Union? What are you seeing?
Ariana, let me flip my camera for you really quick. So what I've seen out here so far this morning, I just want to be honest, I see, which you can see, just cars right now. I haven't seen any salt trucks yet, but obviously they've been out here pre-treating the streets because we do have one lane clear in each direction, which our public works director, Scott Morgan, said that crews would be doing. But you can see that cars are taking it slow, but you can hear that slush on that road, and that's what just makes it a little bit more difficult for drivers. Anytime we have a winter weather system like this, roads are the first priority because, you know, people are going to be out there, so they're going to make sure, want to make sure it's clear. So we have another car coming down. It's not a salt truck, but I'm pretty sure they're plowing and coming around here.
Well, I'll tell you what, for our audience out there, very difficult for Stephanie to manage both cameras, talking at the same time. Very talented Stephanie Douglas joining us. There it is. Look at that, a live picture of one of the, looks like a salt and brine truck and a snowplow all at the same time.
All right. Thanks for catching that, Stephanie.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
She's good. All right.
I know, doing it all. One woman band. I love to see it. Be safe out there, Stephanie. We'll check in with you in just a bit. In the meantime, we have got an update from the city of Memphis about how they've been handling the winter weather.
We just checked in with our friend, Public Works Director for the city of Memphis, Scott Morgan, about the snow, the ongoing road conditions, and how they're moving forward throughout the weekend. Take a listen.
So update for this morning, all of our crews were deployed 10:30 as well as 11 o'clock last night, monitoring roadways and the routes. Salt has been applied to all routes. Most crews are making their way through the routes the second time. Some plows have been deployed and will continue to be deployed throughout the morning. The roadways are slushy, which is good, which means the salt is being effective. We're monitoring bridges, and overpasses to make sure there's no freezing for those elevated surfaces. And we'll continue to treat those with salt just like the roadways.
All right, so that was an update from the Public Works Director about their plan when it comes to roads in the city of Memphis. Right now we want to check in with our Tavarius Haywood. He is in the storm tracker.
He has been all around the Mid-South. He was in North Mississippi, caught a car spinning out in real time. Very dangerous. Again, we've been talking about the road conditions, how poor they are. He is now headed towards the Raleigh-Millington area. Give us an update on what you're seeing in real time, T. Wood.
Hey, good morning, y'all. What I'm seeing in real time is everyone from the Norris exit to Elvis Presley to South Parkway, those ramps where you go around, everyone is stuck on those exits. If you're on Elvis Presley and you're headed, trying to get on that ramp on 240, there's like an 8-car that's stalled. There's one car that's at the top that's stalled, and there's a few cars, probably like 8 cars right behind it. I want to show you while I'm talking what the road conditions are like right now on 240. Once you get to Norris, there's 2 cars in the right lane and the left far lane stalled out in the right on the expressway. And on South Parkway, there's an 18-wheeler stuck on that ramp, is not able to go up. And there's also on that same ramp as you're getting off, let's say if you're going to the Riverside way, there's also a Subaru right there stuck on that ramp as well. So again, these conditions are very, very slippery. We saw a huge pickup that was basically sideways on 240. So again, conditions are very slippery out here. You can see that the roads are for sure salted, but that does not stop you from sliding all over the place. It gives you a little bit more traction. Like I said, I'm headed to the Raleigh-Millington area. We're just taking our time. We're not in a rush to get there, but we are taking our time to get there because we've been going no more than 30 miles an hour all morning. We're getting off on Union now because we don't want to get stuck in that traffic going to that Raleigh-Millington area. But again, if you, like we are now, going over any bridges, you definitely want to take your time because there's definitely some ice. You see those signs on bridges all the time. You know, their bridges may be frozen, you know, during inclement weather like this. And, you know, these are the time where you want to take your time over those bridges because they will have ice on them for sure. And we've been seeing roads just get worse and worse, you know, as the morning progresses. So again, we're going to get off on Union right now. We're going to somehow maneuver our way around. Coming up on something right now. This is Union here going west on Union. I believe someone may be stuck up there. They has that MPD has the Union West blocked off right now. So again, you won't be able to go west at all on Union if you're getting off on I-240. It's kind of hard to see, you know, what's going on right now, but let me see if we can get a little closer to see it. I'm sure it's maybe a car or some sort of vehicle is stuck over there. So again, this is real time, guys. You know, again, this is a prime reason that officials say that you need to stay at home if you do not have to be out here. Yeah, it's a vehicle stuck over there, so you won't be able to get off on Union going west. That's going west toward downtown Memphis. You're getting a look. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if I'm rambling now. I just want to make sure everyone's safe.
Yeah, no worries. I wanted to ask you because the roads are very slick. We've been talking about it all morning long, and I just want to see, you've been out on the roadway for several hours. How many salt trucks are you seeing? Are you seeing a lot of snow plows? Can you give us an update? Because it looks like, from our vantage point, that some of these roads are clear, or at least clearer.
Yes.
So the best portion, at least on the highway that I saw, was from Norris and on up to Union. So it looks like there was some plowing there. I only saw 2 salt trucks this morning, and that was one on Poplar right where I am now when I was headed to work, and one, Union, and then another one on Poplar right near 201. That's the Shelby County Courthouse and Jail. But yeah, I haven't seen a lot of salt trucks going on throughout the Mid-South. But again, as you can see, the roads are for sure salted. I just haven't seen a lot of them. I haven't seen any plow trucks either. So, you know, again, you just want to be sure to take your time when you are driving in these conditions. Yeah, it may look like it's safe, but, you know, with these temperatures dropping and, you know, it's snow still coming down, you just never know what's under the ice.
Hey, T. Wood, you got E. Brill out here. I shouldn't say E. Brill, but Eric Brill out here now. You know, you've been doing a great job out there between you guys in the storm tracker. Make sure you do keep it safe. And obviously, we've seen 240, we've seen I-55, we've seen a lot of these different interstates around here. Kind of curious as to, you know, you're talking about a secondary road like Union. It looks like it's doing okay here. I was just kind of taking a look at Cleveland. It looks like they have a little bit more snow there. So you do expect that, of course, once you start branching off some of those roads as far as them not being great. So just keep that in mind, folks. If you are headed off to work today, if you got to get out, obviously we strongly recommend kind of staying home for the day. But you remember, you do have to get back in, and your neighborhood really could be socked in with the snow there. So keep that in the back of your head for different things that you might have to overcome later on today. Do want to give a shout out too, just to the first responders and everybody that is trying to help out here. If you're a firefighter, policeman, any of our emergency workers, any medical people that have to go to work today, we really do appreciate you very much and thank you for what you do. All right, this picture coming in from Kim King over in Holly Springs. A lot lot of snow into Marshall County, and you can see it is starting to rack up here a little bit here. Of course, it's always tough to dictate exactly how much snow is out there in Holly Springs right now, but some of the different Adirondack chairs that are over there that Kim does have kind of a good indication as to how much is out there. This picture coming in not too far from there over in Hernando, Mississippi, yet again with some of that snow racking up here on this Friday morning at 7:34. So we really do appreciate all those pictures and videos that you continue to send in to us. I can't tell you how helpful it is, so this way we get a better idea who's seeing the most snow out there, and there's a lot of the Mid-South that has certainly racked up quite a bit of snow up to this point of the day on Friday. Here we go. Clouds and rain are throughout the Mid-South, still showing a lot of snow shower activity engulfing pretty much everybody at this point. If there's one thing that's been a silver lining, and don't get me wrong, the quantity of snow that we've seen, it's caused issues already up to this point of the day, and there's going to be issues on the backside of this too when the snow does melt and refreeze during the overnight hours. But at least the rain snow line has stayed down to the south and not really crept up as I anticipated it might have done here 24 hours ago now, because we don't want to deal with any sort of freezing rain or really rain in general. That's when you really get some chaos out there. With that said, along Highway 278 from Clarksdale to Batesville, Oxford, over into Tupelo, we are trying to get a little bit of a mix developing here, but fortunately it's not too bad at this point here into northern Mississippi. A look over into Oxford right now, you do see the flag waving there on the left-hand side of your screen. A little bit of moisture on the camera itself, but the car is cruising along the town square A-OK, so there is at least some good news that it's not terrible out there into the square of Oxford. But with that said, it's still not a wise idea to go outside and check it out just because the roads, some of them are in pretty rough shape right now. In Midtown at 1960 Union, looking towards downtown, the visibility certainly has been an issue throughout the morning hours, and especially now since sunrise did occur here about 30 minutes ago, it's giving us a better idea of some of the imagery going on around the Mid-South. Now, since there are a lot of clouds, of course you can't exactly see the sunshine today, but we have been stocked with low clouds throughout the day, and there's a very good chance that is going to continue to be the case as we roll into the late morning and into the afternoon hours. Here we go, Futurecast, 7:30 in the morning. That's where we're at pretty much right now, 7:36 on this Friday morning. That rain snow line pretty much paralleling 278, and it's going to, it looks like, stay there for the most part throughout the rest of the morning. It does kind of flare up every now and then over into Ripley, Mississippi, and into Corinth, Mississippi, but into Memphis, into Tunica, into Mariana, into Clarkdale, not Clarksdale, but Clarkdale, Somerville, Bolivar, Arlington, Covington, Brownsville, Wynn, Mark Tree, Marion, West Memphis, Blytheville, Ripley, Tennessee, and into Dyersburg. This is going to be a snow event throughout the duration of it. The thing is, it's only 7:36 now. Look at 10:30. We are still dealing with the moderate to heavy snow here throughout the Mid-South. And due to that, well, if we're still talking about moderate to heavy snow 3 hours from now, that's going to up our snow totals here quite a bit around the Mid-South. 1:30, really after the noon hour, we start to see the snow tapering off just a little bit. We're going to go from seeing this moderate to heavy snow to kind of the moderate snow, and then eventually the moderate to light snow, and then start to fling the snow out of here. I think that transition, as far as going from the heaviest snow to it being out of here, that's going to happen between noon and 5 p.m. on this Friday. And notice by 5 p.m., even though Futurecast doesn't have any snow showers around, might be a couple of flurries, but this actual event itself looks to come to a close. The potential snow out of this, we're going to rack up, and we already have racked up quite a bit of snow. Thinking that area in that pink-purple area is going to be about 6 to 8 inches worth of snow, and heck, there's going to be some places that exceed a foot of snow, I think, out of this, because we still have, yet again, about 5 to 6 hours to go before this is done, and in some places, I think we already have easily 6 inches of snow on the ground. So, throughout the rest of the day today, yep, there will be snow around. It does start to taper off after about 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's not really out of here until that of the sunset hour, for that matter, and the 7-day forecast here. This is the thing to really keep an eye on. The snow's the big issue right now, no question about it. Do have that first alert weather day on tap for today, but really, between Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, what is going to happen is that we'll get just a little bit of melting day over day. Between temperatures starting to climb above 32 degrees and some sunshine around, that's going to help melt some of the snow just a little bit. But look at our overnight lows. They're going to fall back in the middle to lower 20s. That's at their coldest point, but really for most of the night, they're going to be at 32 degrees or colder. So it's going to take a little bit for this snow to melt. And if we're talking about the snow melting and then refreezing, that means black ice is going to be an issue around us for not only the weekend, but even into early next week. So that is certainly something to keep an eye on here as to what we have going on day over day here. So worthwhile to kind of look at the black ice side of things here as we roll into the weekend and into early next week. But Andrew and Ariana, it certainly has been an active day of weather here across the Mid-South, and we still have a few hours to go.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Eric. We do want to remind you that we will be here on Action News 5 until 8 o'clock with special coverage of this winter weather event.
Right. And then Hoda Kotb's last day on the Today Show will take over on Action News 5. Then you can watch our continuing coverage of this special First Alert Weather Day on digital channel 5.3. That is the Action News 5 Plus channel, or channel 907 on Xfinity, and all of our digital platforms. We're going to be live.
Absolutely. So again, if you're waiting for the Hodabration, yeah?
Yes, that's what it's called, yeah.
Hodabration, that's going to start at 8 o'clock right here on Action News 5. In the meantime, we do want to continue our coverage because
Right.
it is important, right? We want to get you updated on the roads and just the conditions outside if you do have to drive. Right now, we are going to take a check-in with first. She's not a meteorologist.
Nope.
But, you know, she plays one in her free time. No, I'm kidding.
That's right.
Cindy Gray, she's been live downtown for us all morning long, and she's been doing an excellent job.
Really, really great comprehensive look at what downtown is experiencing throughout this snow event. What's it looking like now? Cindy, good morning.
Well, first things first, thanks guys. But Andrew, I remember you said earlier, you were like, well, what are people doing? How are they feeling? No one's outside. Everyone's inside the house. They are staying inside, staying nice and warm. I don't blame them. The only folks I've seen outside are walking their dogs, letting those dogs out. So can't blame them there. We're still here on South Main Street near Barbaro Alley, but decided to give you a different perspective so you can see a better look of what we are seeing this morning. Nice and clear, calm morning. And it really is so pretty. I keep saying that, but this is a gorgeous view if you don't have to stand outside. If you do, no worries. Just make sure you've got your coat and scarf and gloves and things like that to keep you warm. Roads are, of course, still pretty slick, and even though the snow is still coming down, I'd say it's lightened up just a bit since the past maybe 30-45 minutes. It's not coming down quite as heavy, but still pretty continuous. And if you catch yourself under a tree, well, you know some snow is going to be falling down on you. Again, I told you guys earlier there were folks shoveling the snow on the sidewalk to make sure the people who live in this area on Main Street can walk easily, so shout out to them. But again, this is what we are seeing. If you want to get outside today, maybe head to Beale Street, maybe go sledding, I don't know, do anything you like to do in the sun, throw a couple in the sun. I'm thinking about the sun in the snow. Throw some snowballs. This is a good day to do it. Just make sure you are bundled up and be careful out there. Back to you guys.
All right, Cindy, thank you. I was hoping to see you, maybe involved in a snowball fight or something. I know sometimes folks will take sleds over there by Riverside Drive, so I don't know, just some ideas, no pressure, no pressure.
Or a snow angel. Come on, you are an angel of a coworker.
That's so kind. We'll see.
She's like, get me out of here. Okay, warm up, Cindy. Thank you so much. All right, let's check in with Jerry Askin. He's been collecting all the photos, huh, Jerry?
Yeah. Right. Good morning, Ariana, Andrew. Sydney's like, look, I'm out here covering it. That's going to be it for now. So we know many of you will likely step outside and snap it up in the snow, and we want to see it all, your snow pictures and your videos. So here's video of snow in Berkeley here. Thank you, Tara LaCastro, for this video, with this picture, I should say. A great shot there showing the winter wonderland in Berkeley there. And in Bartlett, this video shows the snow there. There we go. It's from Brittany Jarvis in Bartlett, showing the tree there covered in snow. I hope you and your family enjoy this Friday snow day, her front yard there, and that tree you can see covered in snow. Beautiful shot there this morning in Bartlett. Thank you for that picture, Brittany. And thanks to our news director here at Action News 5, Mark Little. He sent in this video of Wolf River Boulevard showing the roads there, the drive-in in Collierville. You're driving a little fast, Mark. No, I'm kidding. But no, the roads there look great coming in. They're they're salted, but still taking it easy on the road there in Wolf River Road in Collierville. Thank you, Mark, for that photo. And we want to see you and those snow pictures. Use this QR code here on your screen. We'll keep it up for a moment to give you time to scan that QR code there. It's a very simple process. So here's how you do it. Simply hold your phone's camera up to it. It'll take you right to our Action News 5 website, and there you can submit your videos and pictures directly to us. We want to share them right here on Action News 5. Back to you all on this.
Okay, a couple things here. We want to let you know out there that we have the Today Show coming up at 8 o'clock on Action News 5. We're going to switch over to our digital channel 5.3, the Action News 5 Plus channel that you can see, also 907 on Xfinity, and all of our digital platforms. So actionnews5.com, our free news app, and Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and Roku, you can continue our special coverage of Action News 5 on this First Alert Weather Day.
Absolutely. And as you can see behind us, it is still coming down.
Yes.
Really hard. I believe this is what? Is this downtown or midtown?
Downtown. There's Beale
Gorgeous,
Street right
gorgeous,
there.
gorgeous. So not far from where, or that's essentially where Sidney Gray was just a moment ago. But right now we're going to check in, I believe, with our Taylor Tucker. At the big story, if you do have to be out on the roads, it's so dangerous out there.
I know. We could go on and on, I bet, Taylor, with all the roadways and the accidents and crashes out there. What's it looking like now?
You know, we really can. We still have a lot to talk about in the traffic department because take a look at this. Normally, your traffic flow map doesn't look like this. We see a lot of green across the board, but that's not the case. Just a lot of red all across, really no matter where you're traveling. Some areas look better than others. Take a look at 240 near that Lamar and Union exit. T-Wood was traveling throughout this area, so I wanted to check it out for myself. The visibility looks a little better than what it looked like when we were coming in this morning. Could hardly see some of those lanes, but some of those trucks out there trying to clear it out for you so you can take it easy out there on the roadway. So 240 at Lamar, it's okay, but snow still taking over the roadways there, whether you're traveling in that northbound or southbound direction. Here's another look for you. I-22 at Victoria Road. Those of you traveling along I-22 about 30 minutes ago, remember we had that semi-truck that jackknifed. It was partially blocking a lane there. That truck has since moved on out of the way, so you're good to go traveling along I-22, but look at those lanes there. Really kind of hard to see, so take it easy if that's a part of your morning commute. I-40 near 269, that on-ramp this morning, you know, it was blocked with some semi-trucks. That's still the case. Here's one. You got two, one, three, or four that you just can't see. If the camera turns, you can see, but that on-ramp to go westbound onto 269 from I-40, it's still blocked there, so be on the lookout for that. Let's hop on to I-40 near Covington Pike. Yeah, still got those stalled out vehicles off the roadways, but we have emergency crews. They are working the scene, so you want to take it slow as you're easing on by them. Just give them the right of way to clear that area. So a very busy morning. I know I said a mouthful there. If you can stay home, why don't you do that? Just go ahead and get all cozy in the house on the couch. Watch the Hoda show today off the interstate system. Just one crash. Well, not just one, but this one just rolling in at Shelby Drive and Lamar. Power lines, they're down. We even got reports that some of those power lines were causing a fire there. So emergency crews are working to clear the area. Just give them the right of way.
Okay, 7:46 is the time. We are continuing our special coverage here on Action News 5 on this First Alert Weather Day and our major snow weather event.
Yeah, it is still coming down as expected. That's what our meteorologists have been telling us. We were going to see this most of the day. Let's take a look at this MDOT traffic camera right now. This is 78 and 385. As you can see, not a lot of people on the road. That's some great news, but it's still covering the area.
Yeah, 78, I believe that was 305.
305,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and this is another shot here. I believe this is our RDOT camera. Where is this, producer? Westbound somewhere.
Looks like it's I-55.
I-55?
I would say like West Memphis-ish?
Okay, West Memphis, gotcha.
I'm figuring or assuming that here, and we know what happens when you assume, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking it is over there.
The good news in all this, there's very little traffic, if at all.
Yeah, and which is great because, again, as we came in this morning, it's a mess out there.
No question about it. Still snowing. You can see it behind us there, Beale Street, downtown, and it is going to be this way until about 3 o'clock, and it's not even 8 o'clock yet.
Absolutely, and it is interesting, though, that for those who are using MATA, we've been following the delays to the routes, and they're still up and running.
Right, public transportation. In fact, we talk with interim CEO Bakara Malden, and she gave us an update about what's happening with this winter weather while it is in town. Take a listen.
We are operating our regular fixed route service that will end at 6 p.m. today. And on Saturday, the start time will be at 7 a.m. and it will end at 6 p.m. Our MATA Plus service is on life-sustaining trips only, and our Ready and Groove on-demand service is suspended for today and tomorrow. And our transit center lobbies will be open today from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, if you have any questions about where your bus is or if your bus is running, please be sure to subscribe to the Omni Alerts. And also we have alert banners on our website. We have extended the hours of our call center. Our call center it should have opened up at 5 a.m., until 7 p.m. today, and will be open from 6:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. on Saturday as well. Now, in addition to our regular transportation services, we are happy to support the warming center operation. And if persons need a ride to the warming center, they can call 901-297-1680, and MATA will be dispatched to pick them up and transport them to the warming center. Otherwise, you can always call 297-MATA to our customer service line, and we will be happy to help you get to where you need to go.
Okay, you heard it there. MATA running until 6 o'clock this evening. This is video from Strayhorn, Mississippi here. Strayhorn Elementary covered in snow. This is in Tate County, Mississippi. Beautiful drone shot. As you can see, again, this is Strayhorn Elementary School covered in snow in Tate County, Mississippi. It is currently coming down there.
Yeah, and currently coming down in a lot of places, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Eric Brill on what you're seeing, Eric.
Well, just two observations there. That video was taken at night, and that was obviously, I'd say a couple hours ago at the least here, just because there literally wasn't any daylight there whatsoever. The snow is going to continue to fall there in Tate County. And just even looking behind Andrew and Ariana, as far as what they have behind them with that camera that is looking towards Beale Street, it is coming down in buckets right now. A wet bucket of yuck we certainly do have here across the Mid-South. Clouds and radar continues to show a lot of the snow shower activity really at its heaviest right now. And if you notice, as far as kind of this little bit of a mix that's going on, we are starting to see that scoot a little bit closer to the northeast here with that pink that's on your screen. To get the heaviest snow and really rack up the snow totals, you pretty much want to be as close to the range snow line as possible, but still seeing the continuous snow. And that's what it looks like we're seeing right here into Memphis, throughout into Tunica County, DeSoto County, off to the east into Marshall County. The snow is coming down here at a pretty good clip, really all around the Mid-South. A little bit closer of a look at the one area you've been keeping an eye on here has been that range snow line. It has been staying to the south for the most part here, but now it looks like, especially with just a little bit of daylight, not that we're seeing it because there's a lot of clouds around, but just a little bit of daylight is helping to warm the temperatures up ever so slightly. So we are starting to see a little bit of that mixing going on and scooting itself to the north here. So when it comes down to it, folks, good idea just to hang out inside, drink the hot chocolate, drink the coffee, get the board games out, hang out with the kiddos, make a memory out of it, make a snowman in your front yard, and after you do so, submit that picture on into actionnews5.com because we want to see who's going to have the biggest snowman out of this around the Mid-South. Over into Oxford right now at the square, it is still precipitating there, and the reason why I say precipitating and not necessarily snowing is just because, at least looking at the lens here, this looks like these are literal droplets as opposed to actual snowflakes that are on there, but they also could have been snowflakes that hit the camera and then did start to melt here. But it looks like, at least into Oxford, not too many people out and about. Temperatures are in the lower 30s for the most part. A couple of upper 20s for Selmer, as well as into Blytheville and into Harrisburg. Here at Action News 5, this is all the way looking a couple hundred feet up, looking towards downtown. Some of the lowest visibility values that we have seen here up to this point of the day. That's an indication, yeah, we're seeing a really heavy snow band move itself through Memphis right now. But the question is, what do we got coming down the pipeline? When are we going to start to see this dissipate? Well, Futurecast here, it's not necessarily right in line with what the radar is showing, but as far as the rest of the late morning hours are concerned, this is at least showing that we are going to see the snow linger on into the afternoon hours. I think this might be delayed just a touch, and we might see it end just a little bit quicker than this, but we are still going to see the snow linger, I think, through about noon and really not clear completely out of here until we get really right around sunset here across the Mid-South, in which a lot of us are going to see snow out of this and not really too much in the way of a mix with rain or sleet. 6 to 8 inches of snow is expected here, really almost paralleling that of I-40 from Forest City into Memphis, Somerville, Brownsville, and off to the east here. Not going to want to travel to Jackson, Tennessee, or to Nashville if you are even able to today, because keep in mind, this storm system, it is moving from the southwest to the northeast. So literally, if you do go to the northeast, you are going to be embedded within this system as it does scoot to the northeast. Not as much snow down to the south, just because there is some mixing there, and that does hinder some of those snow totals a bit. Up to the north, there is not going to be quite as consistent snow as some areas down to the south. But if you're traveling along 51 or 61, yeah, it's going to be rough going out there throughout the rest of the day today and likely over the next few days as well. Snow chances, of course, at 100% here. The temperatures, well, kind of irrelevant, but they will be into the middle 30s throughout the day. The thing to really keep an eye on, though, is as we start moving over the next few nights, our temperatures are going to be cold. We've been cold over the past few days, so that part's not necessarily new. But keep in mind, any of the snow that does melt during the day over the next few days, what it is going to do is refreeze at night. And since temperatures aren't going to really exceed up into the 40s or the 50s, that is going to result in just a little bit of snow melt each and every day, although the sunnier skies will help, and those will develop later in the day on Saturday and continue into Sunday and the days beyond that. But the snow that does melt, it is going to refreeze at night, and there's going to be a lot of it that does refreeze at night because it's not even like we're going to be at 30, 31, 32 degrees. Our temperatures are going to be into the 20s here consistently during the overnight hours from tonight into tomorrow, Saturday into Sunday, and I mean, just look at the 7-day forecast here, literally in the middle to lower 20s day over day. So until the snow is completely melted out of here, this is going to be something we have to deal with as far as black ice goes all around the Mid-South. So, folks, if you don't have to head out today, obviously a great day not to do so. It is convenient that this is falling on a Friday just because it is a 3-day weekend. So hopefully everybody was able to turn around and get all their supplies that they need because, well, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is always convenient when it does work out on a 3-day weekend. But Andrew and Ariana, I'm looking behind you guys as far as what screens we do have here, as far as the backdrop of Beale Street goes, and the snow is coming down at an extremely good clip behind you guys.
No question about it. It continues to come down at a pretty good clip. And, you know, having the Action News 5 Storm Tracker, we really get elite views of the road conditions in real time.
Absolutely. We have our Tavarius Haywood. He's been driving around for much of the morning. T-Wood, tell us what. Oh, we're actually going to get to T-Wood in just a second. We actually have RDOT spokesperson Dave Parker who is going to join us now.
Okay.
Dave, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Okay, so we've been, the last time we talked with Dave was a couple of hours ago. How have things changed? It looks like more snow behind you.
Yeah, more snow, and this snow is coming your way. So, yeah, it's still coming down at a good clip. Every time I think, well, it's kind of, letting up a little bit, it picks up. So we're easily going to have a foot of snow here, I bet, here in Little Rock, and then, of course, eastern Arkansas and on over to Memphis, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow. So a pretty good storm we're dealing with here.
Question are there any challenges when it comes, because it is continuing to snow, are there any challenges for crews when it comes to, competing with the accumulation?
Sure. I think it's just it's frustrating because you get out and these guys are working, and men and women working really hard plowing away, and then you make a run on the interstate, you come back and it's already covered with snow again. So our goal is by noon, let's say, have one passable lane in each direction on the interstates and highways, and maybe some of the main secondary roads. That's a lofty goal, but that's what we're going to aim for.
Dave, tell us where you are, because I can see that the snow has definitely accumulated behind you.
Yeah, I'm in West Little Rock. West Little Rock is where I am. And yeah, we knew Little Rock was in that path. There was a, 150-mile path that was going to get the bulk of the storm. We ended up getting a good dose of it here, but we don't have the ice that southeast and eastern Arkansas may see. That is a blessing, but it's again, this is a statewide storm. This is not an isolated event that only hits eastern Arkansas or what have you. So this will push us pretty hard, equipment wise, manpower wise, but we had plenty of time to plan for it. We've got a good amount of supplies and manpower.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave Parker with RDOT, for that update. We'll check in with him throughout the day.
Okay, now we have the Today Show coming up next here on Action News 5. Make sure you join us on digital channel 5.3, the Action News 5 Plus channel. That's also channel 907. All of our digital platforms, actionnews5.com, our free news app, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and Roku. We will continue our special coverage for you on this First Alert Weather Day.
Right now, we're going to get right back to the Today Show for Hoda's Hodabration.
Holding them accountable. You told me about an eyesore in your neighborhood, and a couple days later, it was cleaned up. That's taking action for you. You see it, You feel it, and you can now live in it. I'm Joy Redmond, proud Memphian, and proud to be taking action for you. It makes me smile to bring joy to your evenings now. Taking action for you with the most complete Mid-South news coverage, first alert weather, and sports. Wrap up your day with me.
Watch Joy Redmond weekdays on Action News 5. Visit youtube.com/Action News 5 to meet your favorite team members.
Sometimes it's hard to see past the looming repair and replacement costs all around your house. Finally, you can stop seeing money and start saving money with First American Home Warranty. First American covers the systems and appliances you depend on every day. Air conditioning, refrigerator, washer and dryer, electrical, plumbing, and more.
If there's one guarantee in home ownership, it's that things are going to break down.
When an appliance or system breaks down, First American sends a trusted contractor to fix it.
And if they can't fix it, they will replace it.
Members pay low monthly rates with unlimited claims and 24/7 customer service.
We've saved thousands of dollars that we've been able to reinvest into our home.
All plans include a no questions asked money back guarantee and flexible payment options so you can never pay for covered repairs again.
Call 1-888-889-2696. That's 1-888-889-2696. Call now.
Okay, good morning. Welcome back to Action News 5 on this First Alert Weather Day. Special coverage right now on Digital Channel 5.3 and all of our digital platforms. And Ariana, it is certainly worthy with all of the snow that we continue to get. I mean, it started last night. It is still snowing right now. Such a rare event in the Mid-South.
It really is, and it is still coming down, as you can see behind us. And I'm sure if you look out your window right now, it's still coming down wherever you are. And there's more of that to come. Let's check in with First Alert Meteorologist Eric Brill for the latest. Hey there, Eric.
Hey there, Ariana and Andrew. So the last update that I just got here, and it was a matter of a couple of minutes ago, Memphis International Airport, up to 6 inches of snow that has officially fallen there. Have had some reports of 6 inches of snow in downtown Memphis as well. So we certainly have been able to rack it up, and we still have time to go before the snow is going to come to an end here. Clouds and radar does show the shower activity moving from the southwest to the northeast. So that does mean over into Phillips as well as Lee counties and into Coahoma, Quitman, and Tunica counties. Those areas will start to see the snow end before you do in Crockett County, into Dyer County, Hardeman County, Haywood County, and McNary County. Been keeping an eye on the range snow line down to the south because that really has been the most impactful thing from the perspective of seeing some sort of freezing precipitation around. Fortunately, it hasn't been a widespread issue, but if you notice the key on the upper right-hand portion of your screen, the green is an indication of the rain. The pink is an indication of a little bit of ice, and the purple is a little bit of a mixed precipitation bag here, while the blue is snow. And notice there is a little bit of pink and purple on there. So goes without really noting it. I don't recommend travel here on I-22 because over towards Tupelo, that is where there could be some freezing rain right now. But that rain snow line has been able to bump itself up just a little bit to the north here into Tunica County on this Friday morning. So let's talk about what we have going on in Oxford right now. We have seen a little bit of snow shower activity earlier today. You do see that there is some precipitation on the actual camera itself. Tough to really figure out exactly what kind of precipitation we do have here, at least into the downtown square, but at least they are doing a great job being able to clear some of those roads and parking spots in Oxford. And a tip of the cap to all the people that are out there trying to remove the snow, the first responders, anybody that's out there that has to get from A to B and is working today. We really do appreciate your efforts. Now here at the station, the visibility has been really honestly bad here about over the past hour or so. Some of the lowest visibility values we have seen up to this point. Keep in mind though, this is in Midtown and this is looking towards downtown. Usually you can see the Memphis skyline here, but with the low clouds in place, not able to do so today. The Best Care Home Services camera as being elevated in elevation or higher up on the building or on top of the building, that does result in us having lower visibility naturally as it is anyway, but it is certainly a subpar day of weather. So the big question, how much longer are we going to see the snow meander itself around the Mid-South? Futurecast here at 9:30 still has some of the heavier snow bands around. Notice from Helena, West Helena into Tunica, South Haven, Memphis, and even up to the north for Millington, Covington, Eads, over into Arlington, as well as Lakeland. And for parts of Hardeman County and Fayette County, some heavier snow is going to be around here over the next couple of hours. It really isn't until noon that we start to see at least the back edge of the snow approach the Mid-South. And between noon as well as 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this finally starts to cycle itself off to the northeast here and really clear the mid-south. So we still have a few hours to go, folks, before this is going to clear itself out of the region. How much snow are we talking about here? So as noted, over at Memphis International Airport, 6 inches of snow has already fallen. We're easily going to clear that 6 to 8 inch mark here. I think for a lot of this area that is within this purple or magenta or pink color here, and it does include Forest City, Mariana, Hernando, Memphis, West Memphis, East Memphis, all the Memphises, Somerville, Eads, Arlington, and over into, well, Hardeman County as well, northern Benton, northern Tippah, northern Marshall, northern Tate. Really a lot of the Mid-South is going to see and already has seen really about, say, 4 to 6 inches worth of snow out of this. So certainly a big time event that we have seen here across the region. Temperatures will be in the middle 30s. What is that? Why is that relevant aside from the rain-snow mix line? That is relevant because this is a heavy, wet snow here. If you're going to shovel it around, you want to make sure you take frequent breaks out there because this is where you really start getting some of your respiratory issues because when you go to pick up that load of snow, it is going to be heavy. It's not a light snow that is easy to move here. It's good to make snowmen and, hey, have snowball fights, things of that nature. But as far as shoveling, take your time doing so. The other secondary problem that is going to develop here and really is actually going to be a longer duration event is that we are going to see cold temperatures around. That is relevant just because, well, we are going to see it be able to melt during the day and then refreeze at night because our temperatures for overnight lows will be in the middle 20s. We're going to send on over to Andrew and Ariana as they have an update about something.
Okay, Meteorologist Eric Brill, thank you. We have the Memphis Police Chief, Interim C.J. Davis. She's talking right now.
Yeah, let's take a listen in. All right, can we get audio on? All right, so had some audio issues, but that was Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis. I believe there are some other city officials on that Zoom press conference as well, including Doug McGowan. So we will hopefully get that back for you in just a bit.
You're right. We have a number of different journalists listening in to what they're saying, and we're certainly going to relay that in addition to trying to get that for you. But right now we want to get that real-time look at some of the roadways right now. We have Action News 5's Tavarius Haywood live for us out and about in the thick of it. Where are you, T. Wood? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I am on Jackson Avenue right now. So we went down, last time you all saw me, we went down Union, turned left on East Parkway, and I'm gonna tell you guys that roads are still no different. They're still terrible. Again, they are salted, but it's not a lot of traction for sure, especially on East Parkway. We're still trying to navigate our way around to the Raleigh-Millington exit. Again, we're just getting there slowly as possible. I'm going to turn and let you see real quick. This is Jackson Avenue, where it turns into Old Austin P. As you can see, the road conditions are still terrible. There's less people out on the road on this side of town. But again,
all right. I don't know if you all had. I don't know if you all also had those ear.
What?
Can you just
yeah, absolutely. So, you know, T. Wood was certainly explaining some of the issues on the roadways that we've been seeing all morning long when it comes to the road conditions out there. I believe we have the MPD presser set up in terms of audio. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, we're still working on that.
We're still working on that, but let's check in with our Sydney Gray. She has been out and about all morning in the downtown area. Sydney, are you still downtown? Tell us where you are and how are things looking.
your cable.
Hey y'all, good morning. Trying to make a snowball. I mean, it's not very hard here at Tom Lee Park because as you guys can see, there is a lot of snow this morning. When I drove up, I couldn't even see the mighty Mississippi. I think Bo's going to be able to show us a good look at the river though. But y'all, can you imagine? Well, not imagine, but can you just see so much snow out here? And it is a quiet morning. I'm wondering where all the kids are. This is the best place to come out and play in the snow. Maybe they're staying warm. Mom and Dad probably have them inside drinking that hot cocoa, and I do not blame them because it is pretty chilly out here. But a winter wonderland indeed. I know I said that earlier on Bill Street, but really that is what we were seeing here at Tom Lee Park. The snow is pretty thick, I'd say, out here. I mean, I've been moving it around with my boots, but the further out I go,
you know, it can cover our feet. So lots of snow out here at Tom Lee Park. Bundle up, as we've been telling you all morning, and we'll give you another look, and hopefully we'll be able to see more of the Mississippi later in the morning. Back to you guys.
Oh my gosh, look at Sydney Gray.
I know.
Sydney, there doesn't seem to be anyone there at this time. You got a snowball ready to go. You're ready to throw it at somebody or something. There's no one there? Not even Sydney Gray.
Right, literally, no one there.
Man.
All right, it's okay. Taylor's here. We'll check in with Sydney in just a bit, but I bet you in the next few hours we're going to start to see more people.
Yes.
I would imagine maybe around midday, some kids
Leaving me hanging.
coming out and
Jeez.
playing. I know.
All right, Taylor Tucker, how's the traffic going?
Hey, I'm here. Hey guys, I'm in the traffic center this morning where it's been pretty busy for us out on the roadways. Yeah, you already know by now. The roads are a mess, covered with snow there. Even your traffic map covered with red. Typically we're seeing green. That's not the case today, even when I zoom out, no matter where you're traveling. My friend in Forest City, Memphis, Collierville, even Arlington, we're all dealing with it this morning. So as you're headed out the door, I'm letting you know right now, it's going to be a mess out there, and you're going to have to move really slowly this morning. Take a look at this. This is 40 at Chambers Chapel. You can see a few cars out and about. I actually like to see that. I don't want to see a lot of cars on the roadways because it's just not the best driving conditions. We've had accidents all throughout the morning, even some stalled out vehicles like on 40. This is near 269, that ramp to get you on a 269 from that westbound direction. Earlier this morning, we had some stalled out semi-trucks, and that's still the case. So that ramp is going to be a no-go for you this morning, still blocked off due to those disabled vehicles. So keep that in mind for your morning travels. We're in the clearing process for some early morning accidents. This is 40 near Covington Pike in that eastbound direction. So as you're headed near the flyover this morning, we had some cars that ran off the roadway. Of course, we have emergency crews there. They've been working for the past hour now, trying to clear that scene. Of course, it's taking them a little minute there, as you'd expect. It's cold out there, so just give them the right of way and as you ease your way past that area. So all in all, I know I said a mouthful there. Take it easy on the roadways if you have to get out and about, whether you're working your side streets or the interstate system. It is slippery and slick out there. Don't want you sliding out on your roadways. Alrighty, guys, now we're going to toss it out to T Wood. He's in the storm tracker this morning. Hopefully, T Wood, you're taking it easy out there on the roadways.
Yeah, Taylor, we are trying to take it easy because, like you said, like we've been saying all morning, it is very, very slippery out here. The road conditions have not gotten any better. I've been on the road now since 3 o'clock this morning, and it's just progressively gotten worse. I'm here on Jackson Avenue. I just passed the Raleigh precinct, police precinct. I want to show you the roads right now, where again the roads seem to be salted, but again it's not really helping much with our traction. We've slipped and slide all the way down Jackson. We've seen cars slipping and sliding as well. We're getting closer to where there's a report of a pileup here on Jackson or near Raleigh, Millington, and Austin P. So again, we're headed that way. You know, since you've seen me this morning, one thing that I did not mention is please, I shouldn't have to mention it, but please wear your seatbelts because again, it's so easy to, you know, just slip off the road and go off in a ditch. You know, anything could happen with these conditions. So especially if you got them kiddos, put them in their car seats for sure, and take your time and get there. You're going to hear me say that the entire morning for sure. So again, I'm headed to the Raleigh Millington area where there's a report of a car pile up. Once we get there, I'll be sure to bring you more details. I'll send it back to y'all in the studio.
All right, T Wood there, just being all around Memphis and the Mid-South. He was there in North Mississippi showing us DeSoto County. It's the same story wherever he goes.
It really is.
Slick, slippery conditions. We saw it when we were walking in, driving in and then walking in, how slick and slippery it is. But the problem is now there's a lot more people up and about. And you saw in that live shot, a car just suddenly just started veering off the road because it's so slick.
Yeah, definitely want to be careful out there. And I think what's making it harder is that there's still snow coming down, so it's not making it any easier for anyone.
I know.
Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Eric Brill with the latest. Hey, Eric.
Hey. Ariana and Andrew, it certainly has been a treacherous morning here throughout the Mid-South. Got a few pictures coming in, and after I'm done with weather, we're going to go on over to Jerry over at the Lamb. He's going to be giving us some different videos and pictures that we have seen here across the Mid-South. But this does come from Mel. It's one of our fancy little things that we have here, Andrew. But we do have Mel over in Hornsby. This is over into Tennessee, in which you got the American flag out there. And we certainly do have the snow that has been flying around throughout the day. This picture from Angie Mays over in Hernando certainly have seen a treacherous day of weather all around the Mid-South, and we really do appreciate those pictures and videos that were sent in. And yet again, we're going to be having Jerry Askin over here with a couple of those videos and pictures coming up here soon. Clouds and radar around the Mid-South have been something that we've been dealing with as far as seeing a lot of snow shower activity all around. The rain snow line has been trying to creep itself up to the north here, and that really has been something I've been keeping an eye on here as we have kind of seen that rain snow mix into Oxford. Notice we have some of those pinks there indicating that glaze, the purple indicating a bit of a mix here. And well, that rain snow line, it's taken a little bit to kind of jog itself to the north, but along 278, that certainly has been a little bit of an issue here over the past hour. Into Oxford, this is what it looks like right now into the square. You can see at least the water tower there, so the visibility isn't too bad, but that's not necessarily the case that we have here into Midtown Memphis. Speaking of which, yeah, there you go. The low cloud deck that we have seen here. Union Avenue, just outside the station here. It has been snow covered throughout the day, but got to give crews the tip of the hat as they have been on top of it here, trying to keep us at least one lane open for people that are trying to traverse down those secondary streets. Still always a good idea to kind of stay tuned here to Action News 5 with Taylor Tucker. She'll be giving you the updates with the roads down the road. All right, as far as we have with Futurecast here, it does have some showers across the Mid-South here in the form of snow, especially north of 278. For Memphis, this is going to be something that we have to deal with here throughout the rest of the morning and even into the afternoon hours. Notice by 11 a.m. we are starting to see some of the heavier snow around with some of those deeper blues in play. But by 2 p.m. we finally start seeing the back edge of this snow scoot itself to the northeast and finally out. So we still do have a few hours to go before this is going to be set and done. All right, we're going to go over to Andrew Douglas over at the desk. What you got going on, Andrew?
Okay, thank you, Eric. I'm trying to figure out from our producers where we're going to next. Can you tell us again where we're going? Okay. Okay, so we're going to check in with the Tennessee Department of Transportation spokesperson Nicole Lawrence joining us right now on the Action News 5 digital channel 5.3. Nicole, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning, Nicole. Thank you. So first, give us an update on some of the worst road conditions, what you're seeing, and where the trucks are this morning.
You know, our crews are out all over region wide in West Tennessee. You know, we're always going to see the toughest spots crossing the bridges, the I-40, I-55 bridge, as well as that flyover. It's going to create some slippery mess, as you want to say, as it continues to fall, and as well as on 385, you know, those elevated bridges along that area is a concern spot as well.
Okay, and right now we know that this snow is not going to stop till about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So tell us what the crews are going to do to just kind of manage the snowfall while at the same time trying to make those main thoroughfares as safe as possible.
Right. I mean, we're just going to continue to do what we do and push any kind of snow that we see in trouble spots. And a lot of the interstate will be our priority. If you see a pause in work, sometimes we have to just let that product work. Our salt and our salt brine, we have to let that kind of cook in the snow, and then we'll go back and see that slush and be able to push it off easily.
When it comes to snow conditions, would you say it is very poor out there? And is the goal to try and get one lane in each direction?
Right. Anytime we can see pavement, whether it's 1 lane, 2 lane, that's what we try our best to do. In these situations, it is tough because tonight, you know, the temperatures are going to fall below freezing, and we're going to see that refreeze as it typically comes during these events. So we just really stress folks to stay off the roads, let us do our job safely, and just if you are out, give yourself plenty of room between our equipment and yourself.
Okay. Listen, TDOT spokesperson Nicole Lawrence, we really appreciate you coming on the air live with us on Action News 5. Thank you so much for your analysis this morning.
Thanks. Stay safe.
All right, so got an update on the roads from the TDOT spokesperson.
Yeah.
Let's get an update from our expert, First Alert Traffic Tracker, Taylor Tucker. How are things going, Taylor?
Hey, guys, let's go outside if you want to see it to believe it. It's just a mess out there in some areas. A live look at 40 near 269, that on-ramp in the westbound direction to get you on 269. The story this morning has been some stalled out vehicles, so that ramp has been a no-go. Most of those cars have not even been moving. You can see we have a first responder there, emergency truck, trying to help get one of those trucks out of the roadway. If I move out the way, you can get a better view at that. So as they work to do that, that ramp is a no-go right now at 8:19 in the morning. Let's take you out near your I-40 direction, near your M-Bridge. Good morning to my friends in Arkansas, coming in or out of Arkansas. You can see a few lanes are open there. The visibility not the best, but you can see some of those cars have made some marks to where you can see a few lanes there to work with. So it's open for you to travel in this direction if you have to get outside. I know we've been stressing all morning long to just stay inside if you can, stay in place. Here's a live look at 40 at Sycamore View. Another stalled out semi truck parked on the shoulder there, not blocking any of those lanes, but you still want to give them the right of way for their morning commute. 240 at Airways, some ice is taking over my camera there this morning. Hopefully you didn't have any travel plans. Check your flight status. There are so many cancellations and delays that might ruin your weekend plans there. So be on the lookout for that. But if you're headed out the door this morning, the story this morning is just to take it easy if you have to get out and about. Most of your traffic flow map this morning has been showing red. Got a little bit of yellow developing there, meaning some of those roads are starting to clear just a little bit, but still it's not ideal. It's a mess out there this morning, so keep that in mind. Take a look at this need to know list. We got reports of some power lines down at Shelby Drive and Lamar. We sent T Wood to check that out, so he's going to keep us in the know there. But that's also another problem area to be on the lookout for. Ariana and Andrew, back to you.
All right, Taylor, thank you so much for that update from that perspective of the roads.
Yeah, no question. We have our storm tracker is a very elite type of situation where we can get real-time updates on any area of the Mid-South. And Tavarius Haywood has been live reporting for us for the better part of several hours since about 4 o'clock this morning. Tell us where you are, T Wood. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I believe this is the Bartlett area. I'm heading south now on, I believe this is Covington Pike. Yeah, we turned off of Austin P on Covington Pike. And again, road conditions are pretty much the same. What I will say is I see a lot more people slowing down. Even still with that, I'm seeing a lot of people still spin out of control right now. So again, this shows just, how serious these conditions are. I spoke to driving experts yesterday. 3 tips: don't panic, slow down, and be patient. You need to do all 3 of those things. And patience right now, I need you to speak to your manager, whoever you need to call, and tell them that you will be late to work if you're not already at work. You will be a little late. Give yourself some grace and some time to get to work. Again, the roads look salted out here. Not so much plowed, but they do look salted. We're right in front of Craigmont Middle right now. Of course, MSCS schools are closed today. But yeah, we're going to just keep circling around town. We're going to head to the Carterville area here pretty soon just to get a look of what's going on out there. We'll probably take the long way around. We're going to head to Arlington just to give you a real-time view of road conditions, what's going on right now. So again, as you can see right there in front of us, that car right there is slipping and sliding right now. So again, you guys pack your patience, drive slow, and again, be patient. So I'll send it back.
Okay, Tavarius Haywood there showing us roads there in portions of Shelby County around the Bartlett area. Just like anything else we've been seeing all morning long is this issue of snow-covered roads, and the roads where there actually is a lane, it's still very slick.
Yeah, it is, and it's interesting that there are some public transportation services like MATA that are still going to be running, but I do believe there, of course, are delays and things of that nature.
Right. Let's listen from the interim CEO who spoke to us not too long ago.
We are operating our regular fixed route service that will end at 6 p.m. today. And on Saturday, the start time will be at 7 a.m. and it will end at 6 p.m. Our MATA Plus service is on life-sustaining trips only, and our Ready and Groove on-demand service is suspended for today and tomorrow. And our transit center lobbies will be open today from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, if you have any questions about where your bus is or if your bus is running, please be sure to subscribe to the Omni Alerts. And also, we have alert banners on our website. We have extended the hours of our call center. Our call center it should have opened up at 5 a.m. until 7 p.m. today, and will be open from 6:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. on Saturday as well. Now, in addition to our regular transportation services, we are happy to support the warming center operation. And if persons need a ride to the warming center, they can call 901-297-1680, and MATA will be dispatched to pick them up and transport them to the warming center. Otherwise, you can always call 297 MATA to our customer service line, and we will be happy to help you get to where you need to go.
Okay, so that's one of the issues here. MATA, despite all this snow that we're having, MATA is still running regular routes until 6 o'clock this evening. At least that's what the interim CEO is saying.
Absolutely. And of course, if you do have to be out on the roads, please be safe. As you can see behind us, it is still coming down. It's been coming down since early this morning, overnight. Driving in was really, I'm going to be honest, it was a little scary for me.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I have four-wheel drive, not to brag or anything, but it's just one of those things. You think you have four-wheel drive and you think you're safe. That is not the case. I mean, you're still slipping and sliding over all these different places. So it is something that you need to be aware about. That if you don't have to drive, please don't, because we've been seeing during our storm tracker live updates through T-Wood, we've been seeing cars slip and slide off the roadway just like that.
Yeah, and for us, at least, there weren't that many cars on the road when we came in this morning, which helped. I mean, there were a few 18-wheelers zooming by me, which really scared me, but just hoping everyone is safe out there, seriously.
Right, and in just a few moments, we're going to have a live cut-in with weather and traffic on our NBC News, Action News 5 channel. That's coming up in about less than 30 seconds now, so we just want to prepare you for that. And then we're going to continue our coverage here on Action News 5, our digital channel 5.3, actionnews5.com, our free news app, and our digital platforms like Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and Roku.
Well, as far as the weather goes throughout the Mid-South, we are dealing with some showers around. They mainly are in the form of snow. Been keeping an eye down to the south here, as we have seen a little bit of mixing going on throughout parts of Tunica County into Panola, as well as Lafayette counties. Some of that is trying to move itself to the north there. So a good idea throughout the day just to hang on inside. You can see Futurecast here throughout the evolution of the morning hours and eventually into the afternoon. We do start to see the snow dissipate here as we roll into the 4 p.m. hour. So if you do have any sort of outdoor plans going on here, clearly the snow is not going to do you any favors, and we will be keeping you in line here over at Action News 5 Plus if you do flip the channel on over here. Our meteorologist Eric Brill. Taylor Tucker, what you got in traffic?
The snow is still taking over the roadways there this morning. Those of you who just have to get out, take it easy as you're headed out the door. Pretty much for the most part, you can see you got a lot of red and yellow, even on the interstate system and your side streets, which means we're moving a lot slower than what we normally would, which is what you'd expect when we're dealing with these types of driving conditions this morning. Got to see it to believe it. Several cameras up for you to view this morning. The good news I can tell you, even though those roadways are very slick and slippery, we don't have a huge crowd. Usually on a typical morning around this time, you got that rush hour traffic, but that's not the case. So we can work with this. We just want to take it slow. No matter if you got a four-wheel drive, Andrew already told you, it's still slick and slippery out there. So please plan ahead and give yourself an extra 30 minutes for your morning commute. Take a look at it. Let's zoom in. 240 at Lamar. That's a nice shot there, but this one is a live look at 40. Those of you near in Arlington trying to loop around to 269. You remember those stalled out semi-trucks there? Finally got it cleared. So that ramp should be opening pretty soon for you. You can see, let's see if this truck will turn on that ramp. If that's the case, they're doing that, I believe so. That means it's open for you. Take it easy on that ramp.
Okay, here we are back on Action News 5's digital channel 5.3, channel 907 on Xfinity, and all of our digital platforms, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and Roku. You can also find us on the Action News 5 app and actionnews5.com.
Yeah, and we have live in-depth team coverage on this First Alert Weather Day. As you can see, it is still coming down behind us.
Yes.
And there is a lot going on. And so we've got reporters all throughout the Mid-South just being the eyes and ears for us this morning.
No question about it. In fact, Tom Lee Park is covered in snow, as you might expect. We have Action News 5 Sydney Gray live in the thick of it all. Last half hour, Sydney Gray was with a snowball, looking for someone to throw the snowball at. How are we doing now, Sydney? Good morning.
Well, Andrew, it's probably just going to be me and Bo here, and he might win that snowball fight. No one's here. It is still so quiet, and I get it. It's early. Folks are cold. They're staying inside. But again, I'm just so shocked because as a kid, I can imagine I would love something like this. We are here at Tom Lee Park this morning wanting to give you a better look at what the snowy conditions are looking like today. Earlier, I could not see the Mississippi River at all. I mean, when we pulled up, it was just completely filled with snow in this area, so it was hard to make out the mighty Mississippi, but I can see it now. Still, lots of snow is coming down. And then further in the distance, there's all of the playground equipment for the kiddos that is obviously covered in snow this morning. We have been all over the downtown area, from Beale Street to South Main, and now here at Tom Lee. One thing I do want to mention, though, folks are driving a little fast down this street. I believe this is Riverside. They're going a little fast, so people should slow down. I know we've been talking about that all morning long. Don't want to be in much of a rush today because the roads are pretty slick, and even though the snow is pretty thick, it is easy to slip and fall, speaking from experience. But it's been an overall good morning, y'all. Very nice conditions out here. This plushy snow that we've got, still cold, but something you might want to experience if you've been in the Mid-South for any point in time. We do not get this kind of snow very often, so I'd take advantage of it if you can. Back to you guys.
All right, Sydney Gray just by herself.
Yeah.
She's looking for someone to have a little snowball fight with. But in any event, this is a snow event that is not letting up anytime soon. In fact, we're supposed to go until the afternoon.
I know. It's going to keep on coming down. And so we've got you covered with everything you need to know, from the roads to skies. There's been lots of cancellations that have been happening at Memphis International Airport. So we'll, of course, be telling you more about that as well. But again, you definitely want to be safe if you do have to go out and about. Of course, we wouldn't recommend it.
No.
And neither do officials, police, and Doug McGowan with MLGW. So many folks saying, hey, just stay in.
Yeah, we've been talking to the Tennessee Department of Transportation, Arkansas Department of Transportation, Mississippi roadways and road crews, and they all say the same thing, Ari. It's so bad out there. The road conditions are getting worse. It's going to be a while before it's actually safe. They're trying to just get one lane in each direction, but even that one lane is very difficult. We saw earlier this morning on several occasions when we go to Tavarius Haywood, who is in the storm tracker, giving us real-time updates. As he's giving us the updates, you can see cars just kind of veer off the roadway because it's so slick and slippery. And there's not many people out there. It's not an issue of others. It's just an issue of the roads are so slick.
Yeah, and my hope is that, of course, first of all, I'm thankful for all the crews and first responders because I know they are doing their best. But our hope is that, the roads will clear. Hopefully, it looks like they're a lot better than they were when we came in this morning. So.
Yeah, right. So let's talk about North Mississippi, DeSoto County, and the roadways and the conditions there. We have DeSoto County Sheriff Tuggle on the phone for us right now. Sheriff Tuggle, thanks for joining us here at Action News 5. Can you give us an update on what the conditions are like down there? We know it's pretty bad. How bad is it? Good morning.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for having us on this morning. We've been out since 5:30 this morning, actively assessing the conditions across the county. There is a significant amount of snow on the ground, so if you have to get out, please exercise caution. But one of the things that we've noticed is I've been monitoring the radio. Thus far, dispatch has not reported any major accidents. There have been a few vehicles that have slipped off the road thus far, but for the most part, we haven't had a lot of what we call slide-off.
Well, Sheriff, that is great news that you haven't seen a ton of accidents or things of that nature. Could you tell us if there are any specific routes that you are seeing that tend to be a little trickier, any roads in DeSoto County or intersections or things of that nature that you're like, hey, this looks a little bad here?
Yes, ma'am. We started out on the east side of the county. We worked our way over to the west side of the county. But we're right there at Highway 22 and Goodman Road. We came up on a vehicle that had slid off the road there. And the lady didn't have a blanket. She didn't have a jacket. So we were able to provide her a blanket to stay warm until we got her vehicle back on the roadway. So right around the overpass, those are the spots that we have noticed where we're having an increased area where there's cars that have slid off the road.
So, Sheriff, tell me about Goodman Road. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe, I got the day off of work. I want to go get some food and maybe visit some of the other establishments there. How bad is Goodman Road, and do you recommend people drive on it?
Well, I don't recommend anybody getting out in this weather, but if you have to get out, exercise extreme caution. Our county road crews are doing an excellent job clearing the roads, and they're making great progress. We're on Goodman Road as I talk to you now. And there is an increase in traffic, which is, in a sense, making travel just a little better, but it's also packing the ice down, which is creating some slippery conditions in some spots. So I strongly advise anyone who needs to drive to take it slow. Your priority is our number one. Your safety is our number one priority. So if you're going to get out, definitely exercise extreme caution.
Absolutely. And I do have a question as far as if someone were to get in an accident, what is sort of your deputies' roles today or throughout this snow event? I know in Shelby County, there's the inclement weather policy when it comes to accidents or things of that nature. So what are your deputies kind of doing, and if they are called to accidents, or what do you recommend people do?
In response to this weather, we have strategically redirected our resources to key locations throughout the county. This will enhance our response time and ensure that help reaches those who need it more quickly. So if there's an accident, you're involved in an accident, you call us, we will respond. We have enough resources out, and our capabilities are in place. We can get there.
Okay, Sheriff Thomas Tuggle with DeSoto County, we really appreciate you joining us here on Action News 5. Just great in-depth information there. Just stay off the roads if you can, because it is a mess.
And it's nice to get an update on Mississippi as well. We've been talking to RDOT folks and TDOT, and so really great to hear how things are going there in Mississippi.
Right, and again, Memphis police have put up their inclement weather policy. If there is an accident where you're involved in someone else, just exchange information, and the Memphis Police Department will handle it at a different time. That's pretty standard when it comes to these winter storm and snow events.
Absolutely. All right now we are going to check in with another one of our fearless reporters who are just doing an awesome job during this first alert weather day. Let's check in with our Stephanie Douglas. Stephanie, are you still outside here along Union? Tell us where you are and how things are looking.
Yes, Ariana, I'm still out here right in front of our Action News 5 studios in Midtown. I just want to give you guys a look at what we're seeing. I'm going to flip my camera. And this is what Union Avenue is looking like right now. You know how it's usually busy? Ghost town. There's not a lot of cars on the road, which is good. That means drivers are taking heed to what officials are saying. If you don't need to come out, please don't come out, because just a little bit of rain or whatever could make road conditions that much harder to drive on. You can see, though, the roads are not that bad. I don't have, oh, yeah, it's cool. I have the zoom function on here. Here you can see, like, look, get a close look at that, okay? The roads, not the safest to drive on right now. So that is what we're seeing outside on Union Avenue. Guys, I've been out here for about, 7 minutes waiting for you guys to come to me, and the temperature, it's not that bad, but when you're out here for 10 minutes, yeah, it gets a little bone chilling. So don't even come outside. I mean, get some hot cocoa, stay in, watch some Netflix. I mean, if the kids are gonna love it, the pets are probably gonna love it. I can't wait to throw my dog in the snow when I get home. Excited for that. But right now, this is what we're just seeing outside of our Action News 5 studios. Again,
there she went. Well, and we probably pulled her because she said Netflix and not Channel 5. Just kidding.
Right.
No, but we know what she meant. And again, it is cold, and that does a number on our communication systems and all of our equipment too.
Yeah, and this weather is definitely doing a number on the roads. Let's check in with First Alert Traffic Tracker Taylor Tucker. Taylor, you got an update for us?
Yeah, guys, it's been a morning. It's definitely been pretty busy out there. We had a few accidents working. We're in the clearing stages now. I'm not seeing a lot of accidents on the interstate system, so that's good news, right? I want to start you out on Arkansas this morning. A live look at I-40 near Missouri Street, right as you're making your way near that 40 I-55 split headed towards the bridges there. Light traffic. You just saw about 2 or 3 cars traveling throughout this shot there. That's what we want to see. Take it slow, though, if you can. Of course, those roadways, not the best driving conditions. The main talker this morning was this stalled out ramp from I-40 onto 269, the westbound direction. For over an hour, we had some semi trucks just parked there. They were stalled out. They couldn't move. Well, we finally got those trucks out of the way, so that ramp is open for you. But just keep in mind, on and off ramps, elevated areas, they all get pretty tricky on the roadways. So, of course, that area is still pretty slick, so be careful as you're traveling in that direction. I-40 near Sycamore View, still got a stalled out semi-truck on the shoulder there. Once these cars move out the way, you can see that truck that's parked. They have some assistance, so at this point of the morning, they're probably just doing a little bit of paperwork there. You can see a few of them out of the car talking to that driver there. So just give them some room to deal with everything that they have to do in that area. Here's a look at your traffic flow map, because that's really what you want to see, and typically it would be a morning of green. Not the case. A lot of yellow and red. So it's one of those slow go mornings for you. I would still recommend to stay off the roadways, but if you have to get out, you're looking at about a 30 to 40 minute delay. Just add that extra travel time. Even though we don't have heavy traffic, the driving conditions, that they're not the best. Those roadways very slick still at 8:39.
Okay, 8:39, as you said, Taylor Tucker, and you can see behind us downtown Beale Street, the snow continues to fall.
Yeah, it's not letting up anytime soon, and we still have a few hours, maybe more than a few, of this snow that's been coming down. And so, of course, definitely want to be safe if you do plan on going outside and if you do have to drive. But if not, it is nice to just play, outside of your house. And,
I know.
Especially if you have the little ones. I'm really looking forward to going home to my daughter and letting her experience it.
Yeah, is that what you're going to do?
I cannot wait. I'm just nervous to drive home. But other than that,
seriously,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think Jerry Askin might be joining us. He's got some pictures from across Memphis and the Mid-South. Jerry, how's it looking out there?
I think we're actually going to go to Eric now. Eric, what updates can you tell us?
Okay.
Well, we certainly have seen a lot of snow here around the Mid-South, and this is a look as to kind of the best look, in my opinion, as to where some of the heaviest snow is right now. And it is into eastern Arkansas. We've seen some really heavy snow here into Memphis over about the past hour or so. And I want you to kind of look, and this is a different radar. This is what we have on a secondary system that we have here at Action News 5. And it really kind of gives you a better idea as to where some of the heavier snow is, because you have the green, or the blue rather, in there that starts to get into the deeper blues here. Notice some of those deeper blues stretching from Forest City into West Memphis, Marion, Memphis, and even off to the east for parts of Alcorn and McNairy counties. And a little bit closer of a look right now, some of the heavier snow right now is the deeper blues, especially it looks like into West Memphis right now. This is when you really start seeing the snow totals rack up real quickly here, and where you can get that inch and a half of snow within about the span of an hour. And that's what's happening right now, even for Eads and Oakland. Over into Germantown, we saw this heavier band move through, as well as in East Memphis. Of course, with the snow racking up here, we do get some interesting pictures here across the Mid-South. And this is one from Mary over in Millington. You can see the cardinal out there making a cameo with some snow in its mouth. And that's not the only picture we do have on tap here, as we do have, maybe I didn't load that second picture up. I thought I did, but that's beside the point. This is over in Oxford, where I think we are starting to see a little bit of mixed precipitation. For the most part here, it has been snow. Haven't seen any sort of real big issues. You got one car that's all the way down to the bottom left of your screen. Looked like it was cruising along here A-OK. Temperatures are in the lower 30s here, so the good news is a lot of the precipitation has been in the form of snow. We really haven't seen freezing rain or sleet that I know of up to this point. And worthwhile to note too, the most snow that I've seen from the National Weather Service, they've been giving out different reports, up to 7 inches in Senatobia right now. And well, it certainly is still coming down here pretty good as far as Midtown Memphis is concerned. Futurecast here does have that rain snow line trying to creep itself up to the north. Notice the back edge of the snow. It's still not really until the afternoon hours before this starts to clear itself off to the east here. Even by 11:30 this morning, we're seeing some of that heavier snow from Mariana, West Memphis, to the northeast here, paralleling I-40 all the way to Jackson, Tennessee, and even points beyond that. It won't be really until we get close to sunset that we finally do see some drier weather conditions conditions move across the Mid-South here. So we still have a few hours to go, folks, and well, the snow totals do continue to rack up. The favorable spot for the most snow continues to be in this area, pink as well as purple, where 6 to 8 inches plus worth of snow is expected here. In the case of Senatobia, already seeing over 7 inches of snow, so there are going to be some areas that do close in on 10 inches of snow and even exceed that as far as the rest of this given event goes. Let's talk more about kind of the aftermath of this, though. So the snow falls today. A lot of it is done between about 3 to 5 o'clock this evening, and we are going to see dry conditions prevail for the weekend and early next week. The thing is, though, our temperatures, they're really not warming up much. 30s across the board from today through Wednesday, and our overnight lows will be in the 20s. We do get some sunshine around for late Saturday into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So any sort of snow that melts, we're not going to have all the snow melt just like that because our temperatures aren't going to be crazy warm out there. And any sort of snow that does melt, it will be refreezing here during those overnight hours, and that's going to create some issues within itself. Going deeper into next week and eventually the weekend, we will see temperatures still continuing to be in the 40s, keeping our fingers crossed that we aren't going to necessarily see as many issues with that as far as, say, precipitation goes here, but I'll be keeping an eye on next weekend. But overall, as far as what we have going on, I believe I'm sending this back over to Andrew and Ariana. We are going to see the snow linger around over the next few hours, and looking behind you over at Beale Street, it is still coming down at a pretty good clip.
And we got 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I mean, it's going to be coming down for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I have been enjoying seeing all of the photos that you all are sending in from all across the Mid-South. I know our Jerry Askin has been keeping a close eye for us. Jerry, tell us some of the photos, share some of the photos with us that you're seeing.
Right, and thank you all for sending in these photos. We've gotten so many videos and pictures all morning, so it's not too late. Upload those at actionnews5.com and go to the Share Your Pics tab and upload those photos there. So I do want to show you all some of what we've gotten so far. These are pictures from across the Mid-South. You see one photo here. It shows the snow and these chairs here covered in the snow. Beautiful shot there. The lights there covered in the snow across the Mid-South. Also, we have a new picture here. You see that flag and the house here across the Mid-South. Beautiful shot here. Folks are really enjoying their Friday snow day. I'm not exactly sure where this is from, but these are pictures from across the Mid-South that you all sent us in this morning. actionnews5.com/share your pictures and upload your photos. Again, another shot here in a neighborhood across the Mid-South. You see that shot there of all the snow covering this road here and the homes there, you know, with snow in the front yards there. Beautiful shot there of this snow on this Friday snow day. A few more for you. I also want to show you all this photo. Having a hard time seeing it here, but snow on the ground here, that flag there, a beautiful shot of the sunrise you can see slowly in the distance there, but these are great pictures that we're receiving from you all on this Friday snow day. And one last photo I want to show you all. Oh, look at those two dogs there enjoying themselves on this snow day. I'm sure the kids are at home as well enjoying themselves. So it is not too late. Send us your photos, actionnews5.com/share your pics, and we'll make sure to try to get them on right here on Action News 5 and our website, actionnews5.com. Andrew, Ariana, back to you.
I love that.
All right, Jerry.
So great to see, and he's using the smart board, sliding around, seeing the pictures. So many great pictures have come to us, so we want to say thank you to you.
Yeah, and keep sending them in if you can. What is the site again? Is it?
It's actionnews5.com.
Share my pics?
In tab, share my pics.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, so send those in if you can. In the meantime, we're going to get an update on the roads from our Tavarius Haywood, who's been in the storm tracker all morning long. T-Wood, where are you now? How are things looking?
Hey, good morning, y'all. I am on I-240 about to get off here on Lamar, where there are some reports of some down power wires, and we're going to head that way. But I want to give you an update. The stretch from the flyover on I-240 all the way to Lamar is probably the best stretch that I've seen, as in, you know, road conditions. It seems to be very well plowed, as well as there's a lot of salt here too, and with that, there's some speeders for sure, especially the 18-wheelers. They're splashing all sorts of stuff up on our truck, and that alone can make visibility very, very difficult. So with that, you know, you want to be courteous to drivers here who, you know, this is the South, so most drivers here, I would assume, that are not too privy on driving in the snow. But I want to show you road conditions right now as we get off right here on Lamar. We're going to head south toward Birmingham East. So again, we're headed to where there's reports of some down power lines. So I'm sure you all keep people informed on MLGW outage numbers if there are any to report. But this is the best, again, this is the best stretch that I've seen so far all morning, and I've been to all 3 states in the tri-state area, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. I was driving down, was that summer we were driving down? No, East Parkway that we were driving down, and it was pretty rough. Driving down Jackson was pretty rough. You can definitely tell that it was, again, salt on the roads, but that definitely wasn't plowed for sure. So we'll keep you updated as we travel throughout town. We were on our way to the Arlington area, Collierville, to see what the road conditions were like out there, but we got diverted to this reports of some down power lines on Shelby Drive in Lamar. So once we get there, we'll give you an update on that, and again, I'll give you an update on road conditions throughout the morning. Back to y'all in the studio.
All right.
Thank you so much, T. Wood, for that update.
Yeah, it looked actually like they had 1 lane clear where he was driving, so that's a good news update in terms of the road conditions. We know it's poor out there, and we know it's very slick and slippery, but to see 1 lane cleared, bit of good news.
Yeah, and that's what TDOT has been working on, clearing those state highways and everything of that nature. But city crews have also been working on streets, of course, in the city. And we talked to the Public Works Director, Scott Morgan, who shared sort of their plan and how they plan to handle the roads in the city.
Take a listen.
So update for this morning, all of our crews were deployed 10:30 as well as 11 o'clock last night, monitoring roadways and the routes. Salt has been applied to all routes. Most crews are making their way through the routes the second time. Some plows have been deployed and will continue to be deployed throughout the morning. The roadways are slushy, which is good, which means the salt is being effective. We're monitoring bridges, and overpasses to make sure there's no freezing for those elevated surfaces. And we'll continue to treat those with salt, just like the roadways.
Okay, so that is brand new, by the way. Memphis Public Works Director Scott Morgan talking about what his crews have been doing. They had a different plan this year as opposed to previous years, going for the stretch, the 330 miles of roads in the city, and prioritizing it with the most popular, the main thoroughfares, all the way down to the secondary streets.
Yeah, and of course, we recommend not getting out if you don't have to, but if you do, it's important that you drive safe. Our Tavarius Haywood has more on things you need to know if you do have to drive in this.
It could result in us seeing a little bit more snow than originally expected.
Those posted speed limits are not going to be, they shouldn't be something that you go by.
In other words, slow down. For us here in the South, snow and driving really don't mix too well. Experts are telling people to stay at home if possible, but if you must get out, distance is going to be your best friend while driving.
It's all about your reaction time. When you add snow and ice on the ground, that can take 10 to 20 times longer for your vehicle to stop.
Both Heidi Salas and Nick Gerard work for Maxwell Driving School. Best tips for driving in this mess are going back to the basics.
Make sure your tire pressure is where it's supposed to be. Make sure you have your route planned out and you know where you're going. Do everything in simple steps, from braking and turning.
And so everything should be smooth and gentle when you're driving on ice and snow.
Gerard has been a driving instructor for almost 2 decades. He says there's an art, so to speak, when driving in the snow or on ice. He says always keep both hands on the wheel, and most of all, don't panic if you start to slide.
Worst thing you could do at that moment is start turning your steering wheel. With no grip, it's not going to respond to your steering anyways. So you just want to keep your foot on the brake, keep looking where you want the car to go. You don't want to start looking around at everything you could potentially hit, because you're probably going to hit it at that point.
Tavarius Haywood, Action News 5.
Okay, that was great information there. I did spend 6 years in Ohio working at a station there, and they teach you all that stuff on how to drive, and it's usually trial by fire, because a lot of times you are wrecking, and so this is the way to do it. You want to keep it straight and not immediately turn one way or the other if you do slide.
Yeah, I kind of similar to you. Went to school in Missouri, so I know a little bit about it, but I don't know. I may need some lessons again. So that package was great from Tavarius Haywood.
Right.
All right, let's take a look at some video that we have, if we can see it again. This is really incredible. Looks like drone video. This is in Strayhorn, Mississippi, Tate County. This is Strayhorn Elementary and High School, covered in snow there. You can see it just blanketed. Obviously, this was early in the morning, which is why it's so dark out. It looks beautiful over there, Andrew.
It does. It does. And you know, it's the same kind of situation we're seeing now. That was in the early morning hours.
Yeah.
Great drone video. We appreciate it. Strainhorn Elementary in Tate County. But again, it continues to snow and it continues to accumulate. And so that's the issue. That's the challenge posed for all those salt and brine crews, all those plows out there. They have to be diligent in getting those roadways, and we talked about it earlier, Memphis Public Works crews making sure that they hit the 330 miles of roadways that they want to hit so they can keep at least one lane open for people that do have to get out and about. Otherwise, you would stay home and just relax and watch Action News 5.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference when there is a set lane that is cleared, because early this morning there was not. So there were people who were maybe a little closer than we would have liked. But again, it does make a difference. As you can even see here, there's like a carved out lane, and it makes such a difference. This is our storm tracker going down Lamar Avenue right now. And I mean, not looking bad, especially compared to this morning.
No question. And as you can see, good news is that not many people are out on the roadways. So that is great. And if you have to, obviously there are some people that have to be out and about, first responders, that sort of thing, then you have to take it as slowly as possible. But again, you're looking at live real-time updates there on Lamar, and you have one lane, it appears, in each direction so that people who do have to get out can at least try and maneuver best way possible.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about school closures right now. Of course, many districts in the Mid-South are closed because of this inclement weather that we are seeing. I think we have a list of some of them that we can talk about, but if not, of course, we know that really,
all of them.
I want to say all of them.
Yeah.
I do know that some are, you know, doing digital, I believe. Like, so some might be like online.
That's true.
Not, I think more so colleges than like elementary or, you know, school districts and things of that nature. But of course, Memphis, Shelby County schools, Collierville, Lakeland, Bartlett, DeSoto County.
DeSoto, Tipton County, all those schools. And then we have a crawl under our screen there, right at the bottom. You can kind of go there. Also, you can go to actionnews5.com and get the latest updates in terms of closures, businesses, some businesses, but mainly schools.
Yeah. So yeah, this is something that we're just going to continue to keep you updated because there's still several more hours of snow to come. It's hard to believe.
I know, seriously. This is not something that happens all the time here at Memphis in the Mid-South. We want to let you know there is going to be a cut-in here on the NBC Action News 5 channel here in the digital channel. So it's going to be, we're going to try and simulcast it directly, so you'll get an update on weather and traffic with Eric Brill and Taylor Tucker coming up momentarily here. By the way, you're watching digital channel 5.3. This is the Action News 5 Plus channel, channel 907 on Xfinity, all of our digital platforms, actionnews5.com, our news app, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and Roku.
Yeah, run by our fearless Andrew Douglas every morning, right?
The digital desk, yes. So, so this is something where you can watch us until 11 o'clock when you take over for midday.
Exactly. All right, let's stand by for that cut-in.
All right, as far as the weather goes here throughout the Mid-South, we certainly have seen some snow flying around. Meteorologist Eric Brill giving you an update here. And don't forget, over at Action News 5 Plus, we do have a constant stream going on with the weather across the region and all the different updates. But we do see some snow still flying around, with some of the heaviest going from Forest City to West Memphis, Somerville, Arlington, and Brownsville. The rain snow line does continue to jog itself to the north here, but at least there's not as much moisture around now compared to what we did see earlier. The thing is, though, we still have a few more hours of this to go before it is all said and done. Futurecast might be a little bit slow here as far as clearing everything out, but I do think this is going to linger into the afternoon hours, even into McNairy County and points east. The snow totals here, the largest I've seen thus far is 7 inches, actually over in Senatobia. Wouldn't be surprised if somebody near where Tate County, DeSoto County, Tunica County, and into Cross County, if we do see some areas approach 10 inches, we'll give you more of those updates coming here later on.
We are still slipping and sliding on the roadways this morning. A live look at I-55 near Church Road in that southbound direction. Car ran off the roadway there. So we have emergency crews out there working to clear the scene, but take it slow out there. Again, this is the southbound direction of I-55 at Church Road headed into South Haven there. You can see it on your traffic flow map. A little bit of yellow developing as you're approaching that area. Want to zoom out for you. You can see yellow all across the board. It's going to be a slow go of things as you're headed out the door because of those road conditions that we're dealing with. Very dicey out there. Here's another look for you this morning. Those of you headed out the door, the roadways, I mean, it looks a lot better than what it did at the 5 o'clock hour, but the snow is still coming down. So it's going to be very tricky as you're headed out the door, whether that's to work or just simply running an errand.
Okay, weather and traffic there for everyone on Action News 5, and certainly we are on digital channel 5.3.
Yep, we sure are, and we want to get an update now on how the roads are looking in Mississippi. We have MDOT spokesperson David Kinney, who's joining us this morning. David, are you there?
Yes.
Mike's, thank you. David, so tell us some of the worst areas that you guys are focused on right now.
Well, we have had ice form on roads and bridges in 14 counties in North Mississippi, and that's in District 2, which encompasses part of the Memphis metro area. So we're focusing on interstates and highways in that area. Right now, we had some ice form. And so our crews got out about midnight and they started treating those roads and bridges, especially the overpasses there, using sand and slag to provide traction, some salt to hopefully melt away anything that formed there. And most of the accumulation has occurred between Oxford and Memphis. So there were heavy bands of snow and now some sleet that has started to fall in those areas. So our crews continue to work throughout the day. They're still out there this morning. We just want people to be aware that our trucks are on the roadways, helping keep the roads open, and we want people to give them some space to work.
Absolutely, and it has that accumulation that, is still kind of happening, and all the ice and snow that you kind of just talked about. Is that causing any issues or hindrance for your crews as they're trying to clear the roads, or is it kind of just par for the course?
It is par for the course. Our crews started preparing for this storm early this week, making sure all the equipment is working. We actually have snow plows out. They started this morning plowing some of those roads. So these guys are ready for this kind of incidents, weather related. We actually used a salt brine as a preventative measure Wednesday and Thursday. We spread that on the interstates and the highways. And what that is a liquid brine that we put down, and it hopefully will reduce the freezing temperature. So if anything falls, it'll be harder for it to freeze to the roadway. And so far it's working in most places. You can probably see on our traffic cameras, we have at least one traffic lane open and traffic is moving, but we do advise people, if you absolutely don't have to get out in this stuff, stay at home. It's much safer for you.
Okay, and David, let me ask you specifically about Lafayette County. I remember the last storm we had, there was more ice than snow, and I'm sure you're well aware. And it seemed like Oxford and Ole Miss, the whole campus was shut down there. What's the latest with Oxford and Lafayette County in terms of the roads?
There are traffic is still moving through there. I saw it on the traffic cameras a short time ago, but there is snow and some ice on the roads. So we want people to be very careful. If they do get out there, our crews will be coming through, providing, throwing down slag and sand, hopefully providing traction in some of those trouble areas. But it looks like that heavier band of snow went through there, through the Oxford area, Ole Miss. So we just want people to be careful. If they do get out, slow down. When you drive on icy surfaces, your braking distance is greatly reduced. You can't stop as fast. And of course, put away the distractions, buckle up, and allow extra time to get to your destination.
All right, David Kinney with MDOT. Thank you so much for that update. I'm sure we'll check in with you throughout the day. We appreciate it.
All right, David Kinney, we've had Dave Parker, and we've had Nicole Lawrence giving us an update on Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas roadways. We appreciate that, just giving you that comprehensive look of what to expect if you have to travel out in this first alert weather day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I believe we're going to our Tarius Haywood. Is that next?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been in our storm tracker out and about all day long in all three Mid-South states, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas. T. Wood, where are you now? How are things looking?
Hey, good morning, y'all.
Hey,
I'm on Lamar, headed south toward DeSoto County. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm headed south on Lamar right now. We was headed this way to Lamar and Shelby Drive because there was reports of a down power pole, and we did see that down power pole. At the same time, this is just moments ago, we saw several MLGW crews pulling up to the scene. Driving down Lamar, the road conditions are pretty good. As you can see, I'm going to turn the camera around right now. Road conditions aren't too bad. They're plowed pretty well as salted pretty well. So again, road conditions on Lamar. I'm not sure once you cross county line down in DeSoto County, I'm not sure what it's looking like from there, but crews have did a pretty good job if you're leaving or coming into Memphis. So again, road conditions right now are pretty good. That stretch from the flyover on 240 all the way to Lamar looked pretty good as well. But there's so many other spots that are not well, that haven't been plowed, that haven't been salted. So it's always use caution no matter what the roads look like, you know, even in these, you know, and also slow down. I'm not sure if you saw the car speed right past us, but just slow down because, you know, even with, you know, some plowing in the road, that you can kick back up on your car, on the car next to you. So again, just drive with caution, pack your patience as you try to get to your destination. I'll see y'all here in a few minutes to give y'all more updates.
Turn on my mic. All right, T. Wood, thank you. Tavares Haywood reporting live from our Action News 5 Storm Tracker. We are giving you comprehensive coverage here on Action News 5. We are currently on Action News 5 digital channel 5.3 and all of our digital platforms. One of the best things about giving comprehensive coverage here at Action News 5 are the pictures being sent in to our station, and they've been amazing. That really kind of helps our coverage here. We have Jerry Askin now with some of the pictures you are sending in. Hey, Jerry.
Andrew, good morning, and thank you all for sending in your pictures and videos. We've loved watching them all morning of the winter weather. This is happening. I want to first start with Amy Weatherford in Munford, Tennessee. You see a beautiful shot here showing the trees covered in snow. Looks like possibly her backyard here, but this is a great shot showing the snow in Munford, Tennessee. Next, let's go now to Judy in Somerville. That's in Fayette County. Her tables you see here covered in snow, the trees back there, the tree limbs there. Beautiful shot. Again, we love these pictures and videos on this Friday snow day, so keep them coming. Next, let's go to Wanda Bolin from Senatobia, Mississippi. Thank you, Wanda, for this photo. You see that body of water there. I would be safe to say there is no fishing happening today on this snow day, but thank you for this photo. Beautiful shot there in Senatobia, Mississippi. Next, James Guzzo in Oakland, Tennessee. Thanks for this photo, James. More bodies of water, but I would imagine no boating today, no fishing on this Friday snow day. But that's an awesome shot there. Love your home and, you know, love this shot of the snow that we're getting in from you on this Friday. Next, let's go to Jack Hudspeth. This is Luna. I would imagine, yep, this is Luna enjoying him or herself in the snow. You can't ask for a better day for Luna. He or she really enjoying themselves in the backyard there as the snow is taking over their backyard there. Lastly, Amanda sharing a picture of Claire in Arlington. Looks like she's really enjoying her snow day. I'm sure she's out of school. She's perhaps, what, pre-K, kindergarten, you would think, Andrew? Yeah. Somewhere around there. But either way, she's out of school, enjoying herself in her backyard, likely on this snow day. So it's not too late. Send us your pictures and your videos. actionnews5.com/share your pics tab on our homepage. And I want to make sure I get those photos and videos on our website, actionnews5.com/share your pictures. Andrew, back over to you.
I appreciate that, Jerry. Great to see all those pictures. Great to see you sending them in to us. Please continue to do so throughout the day. All right, let's get an update on the all-important forecast. Meteorologist Eric Brill's been talking about this snow for days now. He's got an update. Eric, it's going to last till this afternoon, right?
That's what all the model data I'm looking at, Andrew, is indicating here. And if you look, too, as far as what we have going on with this Doppler radar, notice some of those deeper blues. They are an indication of some of the heavier snow that is around. The good news is, at least, I do think the heaviest of the snow is starting to maybe kind of move itself further to the north here. So it's not going to keep just dropping, say, a ½ inch every half hour or even almost an inch every hour, because that's what I think is happening throughout at least parts of the Mid-South here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. As noted, the deeper the blue, the heavier the snow is. And notice that there is some mixing over into Lafayette County, stretching into Marshall County. So we've been saying this all day, obviously. If you don't have to head out, not a good idea to do so. But if you have to, give yourself plenty of extra time, as we are seeing some subpar weather conditions all around the Mid-South. A little closer of a look at some of those blues that are a little bit deeper or darker, indicating the heaviest snow that is around. It is worthwhile to note, too, I'm going to go into a little Meteorology 101 right here, okay? The radar site is in Millington, and the radar beam, it shoots at an angle. And when you shoot at an angle, you miss everything that happens underneath you, okay? And since that radar beam is shooting at an angle, it's going to miss some of the heaviest snow that is occurring here a little closer to Millington and even over towards Munford, into Raleigh, as well as Fraser, and even into parts of Memphis. But we are still seeing the heaviest of the snow stretching from Oakland into Millington, I'd imagine into Fraser, Raleigh, off to the west for Marion, West Memphis, even into Forest City as well as Mariana. Some heavier snow too, especially on the southeast side of 265 here, starting to approach or just north of Byhalia, and that is something that we will be dealing with here into Eads as well as Arlington, likely over the next couple of hours. A couple more pictures here. This was from Chad Smart, and unfortunately I got a little lackadaisical here in the pictures on its side. I'll show you what it looks like here later on. This one coming in from Lula Gray over in Oakland with a lot of snow that was able to fall thus far and will continue to fall here over the next few hours. And the last one here from Jill Raymond over in Arlington with yet again some furniture that is out there that certainly has seen its fair share of snow accumulations. Love seeing those pictures, seeing what's going on here across the Mid-South. And this is a live look over in Oxford as to what we have going on downtown right now in the Oxford Square. The good news is, at least within the square, the roads are looking like they're in pretty decent shape, at least from the perspective. I'm not seeing a lot of snow on them. Just keep in mind, though, any sort of snow that does melt, it is going to refreeze here tonight because temperatures are going to fall back into the 20s here. So be ready for that. And your first alert, as far as the rest of today is concerned, it's going to be a subpar day of weather, and we are still dealing with a lot of conditions here, or a lot of clouds here across the Mid-South with some heavier snow too. Union still scooting on by A-OK. Still goes with that saying, try not to go out there on those roads if you are able to. And Taylor Tucker, she'll be giving you a traffic report here coming up after I am done with this little weather segment. Futurecast through the rest of the late morning hours does have some of the heavier snow stretching from Tunica into Memphis, Arlington, Somerville, as well as Brownsville and Bolivar. And the heavy snow, it should just keep on lingering here into some of our northeastern counties, such as Haywood County, Crockett County, even into Dyer County, as well as into Hardeman and McNairy counties through the late morning and into the afternoon hours. Now from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., I do think we will still see the snow flying around, but it's going to start to become a little bit lighter, a little less consistent, and really start to phase itself out by 5 o'clock this evening. So the time right now is 9:10 on this Friday. I believe it is the 10th of January, and we are still seeing some heavier snow around, and it's still going to meander itself around the Mid-South here for the next few hours. As far as the snow totals go up to this point, and I'm sure there are some areas that have seen more than this, but the highest total that I've seen thus far is 7 inches of snow in Senatobia over in Tate County. I really do think the bullseye, or the area that's going to see the most snow, it will be just west of there, probably more so into Crittenden County, southern Crittenden County, maybe into eastern portions of St. Francis County, eastern Lee County, or even into western DeSoto or western Shelby County. Somewhere within there is going to probably end up with a foot of snow when this is all said and done. So it's going to be tricky getting rid of all this snow here over the next couple of days, and it will be a while before it happens. The reason why we're not seeing as great of snow totals down into Lafayette, Panola, Coahoma, and Quitman counties, or Quitman and Coahoma counties, is because there is just a little bit of it's a little bit more of a wintry mix than anything else. Up to the north, don't get me wrong, it's still snowing in Dyersburg, it's still snowing in Blytheville, it's still snowing in Mark Tree, but we still do have a little bit of time for the heavier snow to be down to the south and not necessarily spreading to the north. So throughout the rest of today, temperatures will be in the middle 30s as far as those afternoon highs are concerned. The big thing, obviously, is the snow. Now, the snow, keep in mind, it's going to kind of simmer down. It's going to become lighter from about noon to 3 p.m. and really start to phase itself out between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Beyond that, we are going to see a lot of clouds around the Mid-South, and we are going to see temperatures fall back into the lower 20s here. That's relevant because any sort of snow that was able to melt today, or when it made contact, it was basically able to turn into just water, it's going to refreeze tonight, and that's going to cause quite a bit of issues here for Saturday morning if you are traversing anywhere around the Mid-South. So make sure you give yourself plenty of extra time. Take it slow out there on the roads, and it's a good idea to download the WMC First Alert Weather app here because of that interactive radar, if nothing else, and that hour-by-hour forecast here as the day does continue on. So let's talk about that 7-day forecast here. So we have the First Alert Weather Day in place. It was put in place last Sunday by Chief Meteorologist Ron Childers. We've been carrying it throughout the week here, and now for Friday, I think we can all agree that the forecast has verified as far as that First Alert Day is concerned. That's the thing about us. We really want to make sure those First Alert Days, those are the big days of weather here. We don't just issue them just to issue them. Now, behind this, temperatures, they are going to stay in the 30s for afternoon highs for the weekend, for Monday, for Tuesday, and for Wednesday. And there will be developing sunshine on Saturday, sunnier skies on Sunday, and even more sunshine for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That is going to help melt some of the snow, but since our temperatures are still going to be in the 30s, it's not like we're going to melt a bunch of snow right away. And look at our overnight lows. They are going to slip back into the middle to lower 20s, so that's going to result in any sort of snow that is able to melt during the day. It's going to refreeze at night if it's not able to go into a storm drain or if it's able to evaporate here. So that's going to cause another issue on top of the snow that is already falling. And as we move into the end of the work week next week and eventually into the weekend, I do think we could see more showers around for Saturday, 8 days from now. So, Andrew Douglas, it certainly has been quite an event here across the Mid-South. I venture to say, and you've obviously been here just a little bit longer than I have, that this is probably going to go down as one of the bigger snow events, if nothing else, probably, or I hope at least, the biggest snow event that we'll see this winter, but certainly has been quite a storm as the day has unfolded.
Certainly has, and we're going to be watching and waiting to see how much snowfall we're going to get over the next several hours. I do believe there was about 3 or 4 years ago, there was a snow event that we had an enormous amount of snow not that long ago. So I think it was 2021 where we had significant snowfall during a week's time. But that was 2 different days with 2 different massive amounts of snow in 1 week. This is just one snow event, and we are racking up the inches. Let's get an update right now with our First Alert traffic tracker, Taylor Tucker. How are the roads, Taylor?
Hey, Andrew. Yeah, it's pretty to look at, not too pretty to drive in. Take a look at I-55 at Church Road. Got a stalled out vehicle off the roadways this morning. So if you have to get out, here's what you should expect. The roadways, they're slick and slippery, not fun at all. We've been seeing so many disabled vehicles like this one that you're seeing right now, just kind of like stalled out. In addition to that, I can say that the traffic is light this morning. So that's what I like to see. I was hoping this morning I wouldn't see bumper to bumper traffic, but it is light traffic. So we can work with that this morning. So if you're headed out the door, take it easy on those slick roadways. And in some areas, it's all about where you're traveling. It's kind of hard to see those lanes. I know my ride in this morning was a bit difficult. Here, things look okay for the most part on I-55 at Church Road and that northbound and southbound direction. I got another area you can check out, 240 at Gedwell. Good morning to my friends traveling along that 240 loop. Light traffic, but the same story there. Snow taking over roadways, so not much has changed in that shape. Take a look at this, I-55 at Macklemore. Similar story, light traffic, slick roadways there. So if you have to get out the door, that's what you can expect in this angle. And really all across the board, here's a look at your traffic flow map. It looks a lot better than what it looked about 2 hours ago. We saw red all across the board. Now we're seeing a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green. This is not your sign to go and hit 80 miles per hour on the interstate system. We still want you to slow it down on the roadways because, again, these are not ideal driving conditions. Your traffic flow map this morning, yellow across the board. Zoom out, yellow everywhere across the Mid-South. Whether you're traveling, my friends, in Arkansas, North Mississippi, or here in Memphis at I-40, all across the board, slippery, sliding conditions. Take it easy.
Okay, Taylor Tucker, thank you so much. You know, we've been on the air now since 4 o'clock, giving you live in-depth team coverage of this major winter weather event here. The snow continues to come down, and as you heard from First Alert meteorologist Eric Brill, it's not going to stop until this afternoon, up to 3 o'clock right now. We have Action News 5's Stephanie Douglas live outside of our studios here in Midtown, 1960 Union Avenue. And she is what we call in the industry a one-man band, a multimedia journalist. She's doing it all for us here, turning the camera around on her, turning it on the street there at Union Avenue. Stephanie, give us an update. How are you?
Andrew, yes, I'm a one-man band out here, but I'm not going too far. I'm right outside of our Action News 5 studios, and I don't really need to go too far because I don't want to slip and fall because these conditions just want to.
Oh, man. We were just bragging on Stephanie, but you know, a lot of times in these conditions, it is 31 degrees outside. You're going to see some of our equipment get cold as well because that's what happens. It is a mess, certainly, outside, and we're going to continue to check with her, and we want to get an update with her in terms of what we are seeing here in Midtown Memphis. But we've been all across the Mid-South in all 3 states, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas, not only with our crews, but also with the Tennessee Department of Transportation, the Mississippi Department of Transportation, Arkansas as well. And I believe we are going to Sydney Gray. Is that right? T-Wood. Okay. Well, our traffic tracker, Tavarius Haywood, is inside our traffic tracker, which is giving us real-time updates on the roadways. Tavarius, tell us where you are right now and what you're seeing. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, yo. I'm here on Shelby Drive and Lamar, where we have found that report of a pole that was, snapped in half. I'm going to see if I can zoom in really quick. You see that pole right there in the center of your screen. That pole right there is completely snapped in two. As you can see, MLGW crews are working now. They're backing one of their lifts up to it. They also have a pole already on the scene right now, working to put that pole up. You also see those poles right there in the middle of the screen. They're leaning over as well. They do not have the traffic blocked off as of yet, but they are working to get that back on the air right now. So again, they don't, and I also don't see any reported outages right now. We see the comms person for MLGW. I believe it's Ursula Madden right there. So again, they are working to fix this as soon as possible. I don't see any reported outages in this area. That's the Capelville area. So once we find out more information, we will be sure to update you about what's going on with this situation. I'll send it back to y'all in the studio.
Okay, Tavarius, thank you. And just checking, you reminded me, T. Wood, I was checking the MLGW outage map, and some great news here. Just 163 customers in the entire Shelby County area are without power. 163. So that is 99.99% that do have power in these bitterly cold conditions. 31 degrees right now in Midtown. As you can see behind me, the snow continues to come down. We've been talking about this snow event for the better part of a week, and we have First Alert meteorologist Eric Brill joining us right now. He's been talking about it for days. And Eric, right now, we are spot on in terms of what you forecasted, and right now it continues to snow. Good morning. What are you seeing?
Andrew, I'd rather be lucky than good, I'll be honest with you, as far as with respect to the forecast here around the Mid-South is concerned. And finally got Chad Smart's picture back up right here. And this is a look presumably in his backyard over in Millington, where the snow has been able to rack up throughout the span of the day. Going back to what Andrew was just talking about here as far as those power outages are concerned, as he noted, we are in pretty good shape here as far as Tennessee is looking. But when we start looking a little bit more widespread here, actually we're in pretty good shape even in northern Mississippi, or just Mississippi as a whole. And that's one thing I do want to point out here. The outages that you do see, these are for the entire state, not necessarily just for the, say for Tunica County or for Lafayette County or for Benton County. So for at least Mississippi, we're looking at the range here of about, we're looking at less than 5,000 outages, and into Arkansas, I believe that we're somewhere between 500 and 10,000 outages. And keep in mind, Arkansas saw the snow falling here yesterday, and that includes the whole entire state. So since we're going from Texarkana all the way up to West Memphis and points beyond that. So the good news is at least there that we're not seeing any more outages than necessarily that. All right, let's talk more about what we have going on here with the Doppler radar, in which the snow has been falling here at a pretty heavy clip over the past couple of hours, especially for Memphis. The Doppler radar does show some of the heaviest snow right now, scooting to the north into Frazier and into Raleigh, even towards Millington, and it will continue to be falling here at a pretty strong clip as the rest of the morning into the afternoon hours are looking. The deeper the blue, the heavier the snow, and at least for Forest City, Mariana, West Memphis, Marion, that's where some of the heaviest snow is right now. Fayette County seeing some pretty heavy snow along 64, Highway 64, really from Eads to Oakland, Somerville, and Bolivar. Yeah, it is probably not a very smooth commute right now, and it is a good idea to try to avoid just being out on the roads in general because we do have the heavy snow in place. Oxford, Mississippi, been keeping an eye on this camera. A lot of water droplets that are on there right now. Tough to exactly figure out exactly what kind of precipitation type we do have there because there has been, I think, a little bit of rain mixing in for this part of the viewing area here into Lafayette County. And above the building here at Action News 5 at 1960 Union, the snow continues to fall at a pretty heavy clip. Best Care Home Services camera taking a peek over at Union. Does have at least some snow or at least a little bit of clearing here on the roads themselves. And I know those crews, they've been busting their hump here as far as the morning hours go. And hey, they made the proper preparations in advance too. So tip of the cap to everybody out there with the plow, the first responders, firefighters, policemen, emergency workers. If you're working at a hospital, we really do appreciate all the hard work that you are doing right now as far as getting to work and getting home here. It's going to be pretty tricky too because we still have a few more hours of this event to go before it is all said and done. Futurecast here does have the heavier snow stretching from Mariana and Tunica through Memphis, Brownsville through 11 a.m. and it's really not until about, I'd say, 1 o'clock in the afternoon that we start seeing the snow not become as heavy but still lingering around, and really after about 3 p.m., at least for Memphis, that's when it will start to taper off quite a bit and really clear out of the viewing area as far as the Mid-South is concerned by about 5 to 6 o'clock this evening. So the heaviest of the snow, it is going on right now, but we are going to see it still linger here for another 6 hours pretty easily for a lot of the Mid-South. Snow totals out of this, the highest that I've seen thus far is still over towards Senatobia, 7 inches of snow. There's going to be somewhere that captures over 10 inches of snow, and I wouldn't even be surprised we got a 12-inch total. That was somewhere, really, I've been kind of noting this the past couple of days, into eastern portions of Lee County, eastern Francis, southern Crittenden, western DeSoto, southwestern Shelby County, northern Tunica County, somewhere in there is going to end up, I do think, with over 12 inches of snow. But right now, the head of the table is Senatobia with 7 inches of snow. The secondary issue that is going to come out of all this snow is that we are going to start to see sunnier skies around, but not necessarily warmer temperatures. Temperatures into the 30s will help melt some of that snow, but it's not going to get rid of it right away. But the sunshine should help really more than the actual temperatures. The thing is, though, when we melt the snow, what's it going to be at night? And it looks like we are going to see temperatures slip into the middle to lower 20s here all around the Mid-South for Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. So there's going to be quite a big issue here as far as a freeze-thaw effect going on because, well, temperatures are just kind of in the right place for that here. The next chance of precip after this is come and gone will be, I think, Saturday. So we got 8 days between now and then to kind of get rid of all this snow here. But overall, Andrew and Ariana, we have obviously seen quite the storm here across the Mid-South, certainly hoping it's going to be the biggest one that we'll see as of this given year. But hey, it is still only the beginning of January. We still got to get through the rest of January, February, and March and see exactly what unfolds here over the next couple of months.
Yeah, I also hope this is the biggest one that we'll see this year.
But do you remember in 2021 we had 2 snowstorms
that
accumulated, I think it was like 16 inches. I know it was over a foot. But this is just one snowstorm.
And I do remember I was outside for that one, and it wasn't in the 20s or 30s. It was like 1 degree, 4 degrees. It was
It
was so cold.
bitterly cold.
So.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that.
So I'm grateful in that aspect. But it's been so fun seeing everyone's photos and their pets and their beautiful lawns and all of that good stuff when it comes to the snow.
It really helps us tell that comprehensive coverage story as well. We got Jerry Askin using our smart board to give us more of these awesome pics. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Andrew, Ariana. Yes, we're inside, so we love seeing all your pictures and videos from outside and at your homes. Ariana, you're going to love this photo here. I know you just got your daughter a snowsuit, you mentioned. So this photo here stands out really. It is of Amanda shared this picture of Claire in Arlington. So we are working to get some more new pictures and videos to show you all. But I knew you would love this picture, Ariana, that shows this little girl enjoying her snow day on her Friday. really having a good time. So we know many of you are going to step outside and snap it up in the snow, and we want to see all of your snow videos and photos. So this picture of Oxford is from Dean Douglas again, the brother of Andrew Douglas. You can see homes and balconies covered in snow. He called it very peaceful there. So thank you, Dean. Looks like a winter wonderland. Great shot there. Thanks, Dean. Also, you see in this picture how much the snow has piled up overnight. Cars blanketed in snow. We actually don't have that picture. So one more time, Monte. Okay, right now our Tavarius Haywood is interviewing Doug McGowan with MLGW. Take a listen.
Powerful to snap.
Yeah, sure. Let me just talk generally about the system. It's holding up very well. We have a snow event today. Our systems are all operating normally. Unfortunately, when you do have snow, you have some slick roads, and occasionally you do have cars that hit our power poles. And that's what happened down here today at Shelby and Lamar Avenue. You have two poles that are down. A truck hit one pole and it pulled the other one down with it. It's impacting about 115 customers. So we have about 160 customers out across the entire system, 115 from this particular incident. So what our crews are doing, as they do 24/7 in response to this, they're out here, they'll be removing the pole that's broken. They'll be de-energizing the lines while they do that. They'll reset the new pole, reattach the lines, and then everybody will be back energized again. So this happened about 6:30 this morning. The crews were out here assessing what they needed to do, and now they're going about the business of replacing the pole, re-energizing the lines.
What's the response time, if these type of incidents happen?
Yeah, so it's very quick. Our troubleshooter was out here just a few minutes after the outage occurred. His job is to assess what do we need to do to fix it. So we know there was an outage. He has to come on scene and say, what do we think we need to do to correct this? So he makes an assessment. Once he gets that assessment, he puts the equipment list, puts the crew list together, sends that back to our system operations. They dispatch a crew to come out here. It takes them a few minutes to get here because they have to go get the equipment. They have to get the pole, get the appropriate wires, anything they need. So they were down here, within an hour or so of the actual incident occurring, so they can begin the process of restoring power.
And is that the typical process? One crew comes out to assess, and then afterwards another crew comes to repair?
So, yeah, the correct term is a troubleshooter will come out. That's one person who's an expert in electric distribution. He's an expert in electric distribution, and he can assess the system and determine what needs to happen. And then it saves our crew time from sending an entire crew with the bucket trucks down, having them to have to go back to pick up the equipment. He tells them what they need, they gather it all at the shop and come on down here. It makes for a much more efficient process.
How long does the actual repair take?
It really depends on the complexity. So these guys will probably be here for a few hours. What you see behind us is a couple of poles with several circuits on there. So they have to detach the lines from the pole, then remove the pole, then reattach the lines. And they want to make sure they're doing it safely because this is 23,000 volts behind us, and they want to make sure that they're doing everything safely. So they take their time, they're very deliberate. So it is a complex system, but our guys are really good at restoring power when things like this happen.
Outage-wise, it's a lot different story than it was last year. What's your credit to that?
Sure. Well, number one, a snow event typically should not affect your electric system. What we're seeing in southwest Arkansas and northeastern Texas is a lot of power outages because they have that freezing rain. Below us is freezing rain. That's when that comes down, that causes ice on your power lines and the trees, weighs them down and causes a lot of outages. Snow does not have the same impact. The concern for us the rest of the day are this snow is pretty heavy, and so it could pull down some trees. I'm not worried about the power lines, just worried about trees falling. So in addition to that, as you know, we've talked a lot about tree trimming, which is part and parcel of maintaining a reliable electric system. So if a limb does come down, it doesn't impact your system. So we've done a lot of that. We exceeded our goal last year. We're about halfway through with our 3-year cycle trim in only about 15 months. So we're well ahead of the pace, and I think the reliability is showing that.
Obviously, road conditions vary across the city of Memphis. Do you anticipate your crews having to do any more repairs like this here with cars running into poles?
Well, cars hit poles hundreds of times a month, whether it's a street light pole or a utility pole, and it's just a fact of life here that our crews are used to doing it. So I anticipate there will be others that get struck today because that happens even on a sunny day when it's dry outside. So this just makes it more challenging. So we encourage everybody to take it slow, be deliberate. Today is not the day to be having your phone in your hand while you're driving. 2 hands on the wheel, taking it slow, and if you don't have to be out, then don't be out.
Bill related, you are not cutting people off during this weather,
We absolutely do not. Anytime the temperature is below freezing for more than 4 hours, we have a moratorium so that people can ensure that they stay warm. We also have a winter moratorium for our seniors that lasts during the winter season. And then obviously we also have that moratorium. Anytime there's a weather event, we make sure that we're not cutting people off. Any other questions?
Anything else you want to add?
No, we're just really proud of the team, proud of the system's response. We indicated that we were prepared. I think this shows that we were prepared. Things can still happen throughout the course of the day, but our crews are well positioned to respond to anything there. Our water system, we have plenty of water, we have plenty of gas, and plenty of electricity available to us. The impacts now are just things like you see here today.
Last question, is there an estimated time when this will be repaired?
I'd have to talk to the crew chief here, but now that they made the assessment, I anticipate it'll be just a couple of hours before they're able to re-energize power.
Thanks so much, Dad.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
All right, that's MLGW CEO and President Doug McGowan there. And I have to say, to see less than 200 homes and businesses without power, that's 99.99% that do have power. Great news.
Yeah, such a blessing, especially with these conditions and these temperatures. Nobody wants to be without heat or water or anything of that nature, any utility, right?
Yeah, for sure. And like he was saying, Doug McGowan there, when those power lines snap or fall, those lines are hot.
Yes.
So be careful not to drive over those lines.
Very
Just
dangerous.
Be very careful. They can be very, and also driving this morning. I mean, we've all been mentioning it. You know, I have a low car, an Infinity. I shouldn't say it out loud, but I have an Infinity, and driving in this morning, I've literally spun 3 times on Union. Thankfully, nobody was on the other side.
Yes, very scary. Let's get an update on the traffic right now with our traffic tracker, Taylor Tucker. How are the roads?
Yeah, whether you have an Infinity or an F-150, it's just a mess out there on the roadways this morning. Not the best driving conditions, and that's still the case. We've been saying this all morning long for the past 4 hours now, and not too much has changed. A look at the flyover this morning, you can see a few cars out and about taking it slow. That's what I like to see this morning. Light traffic, it's not heavy traffic, so that's good news as well. Now, I will say I have some accidents rolling in this morning. Obviously, we were just talking about that situation at Shelby Drive and Lamar with those power poles there, but also Poplar and White Station. A car hit a pole, so now we're dealing with that as well. So those are some areas you really want to be on the lookout for. Take a look at your traffic flow map this morning. If you've been with us throughout the morning, we went from a map that was covered with all red to now yellow. So what that means is that we have a few cars out and about. You're able to move, but we really want you to reduce that speed. This is not the morning to ride with one hand on the wheel in style, blasting your music and speeding. You really want to slow it down this morning, because I can't tell you, I can't even count how many accidents we've been following throughout the morning. But to see your traffic flow map like this, showing yellow, it works for me this morning. Of course, we're going to keep you in the know about everything that's going on, but the main message we have for you, stay off the roadways if you can.
All right, Taylor, thank you for that update on the roads. And speaking of the roads, TDOT crews have been preparing for this all week.
No question. In all 3 states, we have an update right now that we want to share from Tennessee Department of Transportation spokeswoman Nicole Lawrence.
You know, our crews are out all over region wide in West Tennessee. You know, we're always going to see the toughest spots crossing the bridges, the I-40, I-55 bridge, as well as that flyover. It's going to create some slippery mess, as you want to say, as it continues to fall, and as well as on 385. You know, those elevated bridges along that area is a concern spot as well.
Okay.
All right, look who it is.
I know, that's our friend Joy Redman, our evening anchor here at Action News 5, showing all the snow outside of her home on a busy Friday morning.
I know. I wish my eyes were better so I could see exactly how many inches
I know.
it is there. Eric's trying to take a look.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's safe to say got a pretty decent amount of snow there.
Right. In the town of Collierville, that's where she is, and showing the heavy amounts of snow that we've seen all across Memphis and the Mid-South. We got our first alert meteorologist, Eric Brill, on top of it all for us this morning.
Yeah, Eric, what's the latest?
Well, you know, inadvertently, that ended up being a good transition. There we go. That ended up being a good transition here as far as seeing how much snow that Joy had, because across the Mid-South, I conveniently had up the snow totals. And keep in mind, I do want to note this, these are the estimated totals. These aren't the locked in stone, this is how much is exactly fallen totals, but at least gives you a general idea as to who has seen the most snow thus far. And it's been quite a range here. So notice into Clarksdale, about an inch of snow has fallen, but if you head just a little bit further to the north and northwest, that looks like that's kind of near the Lee, well, no, that'd be into southern St. Francis County, kind of near Mariana, about 10 inches of snow, the spot with the most right now. Just to the east, though, across the river near Tunica, about 9.5 inches of snow, 9 inches into, say, Byhalia, 8.5 inches into northern portions of Tippah and Benton counties, and about 5.5 inches of snow for Bolivar. So the snow totals certainly have racked up a bit here. No surprise that some of the heaviest totals right around the Mississippi River here have been kind of calling for that for the past few days. Now, one thing we've been keeping an eye on too is the quantity of power outages here across the Mid-South. And hey, if you don't have the power, it's not exactly fun. But the good news is, at least according to what I'm looking at here, we only have a few hundred power outages, about 100 into Shelby County, 100 into Fayette County, 100 for DeSoto County, the same amount for Phillips County, and into Panola County. That's where there are 200 outages. I wouldn't be surprised with those outages for Panola County if that's kind of where we have seen a little bit of the frozen precipitation here, and that's where some of those issues could have arisen from that alone. Top of the radar across the Mid-South does still have the heavy band of snow stretching from Mariana to West Memphis, up towards Munford, Millington, even into Ripley, Tennessee. And on the east side of this, where some heavier snow has fallen as well and continues to fall, from Hernando into Germantown, even over north of Holly Springs, throughout Marshall County, Bolivar, and Oakland, seeing some pretty heavy snow as of this time. The deeper the blue that you do see on your screen, the heavier the snow is here. And notice that there is a little bit of mixing still going on just near Holly Springs, if anything points south of there. So it has been an eventful start to the day here across the Mid-South, and we still have a few hours to go before this is going to be done. Good idea to always kind of see what we got going on with live cameras here. This is in Oxford. Still do have some water droplets on there. Now, whether those are in the form of actual rain falling or if they are in the form of snow that has melted when it did reach a camera. I'm not too sure about that one here, but the snow does continue to fall here at a pretty good clip. Through parts of the Mid-South with those temperatures in the lower 30s across the board, there's really not much of a range from 32 degrees for many places to about 30 degrees. That is the case here around the Mid-South. The visibility continues to be quite an issue as well into Memphis. This is Midtown looking towards downtown. The snow continues to fall, but hey, you want to know what the good news is? I'm really proud that there's not too many cars up there. That means you were doing a great job Mid-South as far as kind of staying home and staying at bay and not doing anything too crazy throughout the day. And I get it, some people, they do have to go out and about. And a tip of the cap to those first responders, those emergency workers, if you're working at a hospital, if you're a firefighter, a policeman, a policewoman, doing anything that involve being outdoors. And hey, obviously there are people that are clearing off those roads too, as far as just some of the different state workers, county workers, city workers. Do really appreciate the work and effort that you are doing as well. When are we going to get this mess out of here? Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess if you're a kid, we still do have a few hours of this to go here. So Futurecast has some of the heaviest snow still pinwheeling itself from the southwest to the northeast. Notice by 11 a.m., about an hour and 20 minutes from now, we see some of the heavy snow in Mariana, Memphis, right along I-40 from Memphis into Brownsville. If you are, I don't really think too many people are probably traveling to Jackson, Tennessee or Nashville. Keep in mind that this is going to be running with you as far as the storm system goes, because it is moving from the west or from the southwest to the northeast here. So your issues are going to be seen here for Jackson, Tennessee, and for Nashville. Head off to the east, Knoxville, Chattanooga, as well as into the Tri-Cities towards this northeastern corner of the state here. There will be some issues. Locally, though, I think a lot of our snow is going to start to wind down as far as the heaviest snow between about noon and 3 p.m. And it's going to depart the region between about 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. So we still do have a few hours to go, folks, before this is going to be all set and done, and we are going to be able to put this one behind us. I really should, I got to update this, honestly, as far as the potential snowfall goes, because at least with the radar estimates here, while 6 to 8 inches plus, that has verified, because we have seen some areas with that plus side, we have really seen kind of some big-time snow totals, especially throughout St. Francis and into Lee counties here, and into Tunica County as well, as some of those areas have closed in on over 8 inches of snow up to this point. As far as the rest of today is concerned, high temperatures, they will be in the middle 30s. Once the snow does come to an end here, we're not going to see much melting, at least right away. And any sort of snow that does melt throughout the day, excuse me, any sort of snow that does melt throughout the day, it is going to refreeze at night, as our temperatures will slip into the lower 20s and a couple of upper teens around here as well. But that's going to have issues within itself as far as just the freeze goes. And that's a really big thing that I think is going to be an issue for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, especially during the morning. Excuse me. The WMC First Alert weather app Been talking a lot today. The WMC First Alert weather app here, it is one that has the interactive radar feature ready to go, and hey, it's a good one to download as well, and it does give you that latest and greatest forecast over the next 7 days around the Mid-South. So of course today's the First Alert weather day. Chief Meteorologist Ron Childers, he issued that here back on Sunday. Been carrying it throughout the week, and it certainly has verified, and we don't like to just issue it here at Action News 5. We issue it when there are big weather events going on, and I think we can all agree today is certainly a big weather event that has occurred here around the Mid-South. Behind that, though, dry conditions, they're going to prevail. It's obviously a good thing. We're going to need it here because, well, there is a lot of snow around. But there is something or a caveat that does come with that. Look at our high temperatures. They will range throughout the 30s. Some middle to upper 30s return Sunday through Wednesday. Overnight lows are going to be in the middle to lower 20s. So what's going to happen is we'll get a little bit of the snow to start to melt itself off between the warmer conditions and the sunshine, even though it's not going to be that warm. But any sort of snow that does melt, it is going to refreeze at night here because those temperatures will slip in the middle to lower 20s. So that's going to cause issues too. Andrew and Ariana, we have obviously seen a lot of issues here with the snow across the Mid-South, but I think something we really have to start looking forward to, especially as the weekend does develop, is that refreeze that does happen with the snow that does melt, because it's not like we're going to see a day in the 50s here over the next few, and it's not like we have a lot of sunshine on tap here over the next week, that we are going to get that combination of all that snow melting here. And oh yeah, by the way, we are keeping an eye on Saturday and Sunday of next week as we do start to move into the middle of the month here. That is the next best chance of rain or just precipitation in general here around the Mid-South as far as Saturday and Sunday look. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on here. As far as what we have going on, though, overall, Andrew and Ariana, we have seen obviously the issues with the snow here across the Mid-South. So if you do have any sort of outdoor plans, good idea to give yourself plenty of extra time. Just take it slow out there because those roads, they certainly have been treacherous and will continue to be treacherous, especially the secondary roads and those tri-terry roads. So I'm not going to lie, Andrew and Ariana, my voice is really starting to get a little hoarse. I need myself a little bit of water back at the Weather Center. So I am going to toss it back to you at the desk here because, yeah, it's been a day and a half.
And
absolutely.
It's not done yet.
I know. Eric, people don't understand Eric's wonderful dry sense of humor when the camera is off. He's really funny.
I wish you could only hear.
Yeah, I know.
But then maybe he wouldn't have a job. I'm kidding. All right.
Ari's got jokes too.
The delusion, right? The delusion. All right. Happy snow day, everybody. Of course, we're continuing just to keep you updated on everything that's going on throughout the Mid-South, from the roads to the skies. Speaking of the skies, we have some information from Memphis International Airport we need to tell you about.
Yeah, so we've been talking all morning long that there are some cancellations. As you can see, that last column, it looks orangish, kind of red. Those are cancellations. But we want to let you know that Memphis International Airport is still open. There are a few flights taking off from time to time. They're delayed. Now you can see there on the bottom, you can see the light blue. Those are delayed flights, but they are taking off. They have crews working diligently to try and clear all those runways so that flights can arrive and land. But again, the airline determines whether a flight is canceled or not.
Yeah, so definitely want to check in with your airline before, if you know anybody who has a flight to or from Memphis, whatever the case may be, definitely check in with your airline. But again, Memphis International Airport is open today.
Yeah, let's show now some drone video from earlier this morning. This is in Tate County, Mississippi, Strayhorn Elementary, showing the drone video of the school there. As we have been reporting, most school systems are closed right now across the Mid-South, but you can see the snow and the snow-covered facility there. Again, Strayhorn Elementary in Tate County, Mississippi.
So gorgeous. All right, take a look at this. This is a look from the Tennessee Brewery. These are some apartments downtown Memphis, of course, on Tennessee Street. And looks gorgeous there. Look at that architecture. I believe this is sort of that like courtyard area from that apartment complex. You can just see all of those condos and apartments in the distance, blanketed with snow. So again, it's also always nice to see the different angles of just how the city is looking.
Yeah, very consistent with what we've been seeing all downtown all morning long. And check this out. This is hole 17 at TPC Southwind. Remember when we were there for the golf tournament? Very different conditions now. The golf tournament in July, but man, does it look gorgeous there. Again, the 17th hole at Southwind TPC. It is just beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because the last time we were there, it was so hot, unbearably hot.
I know.
And then just to think of the difference now, but it
Yeah.
looks so beautiful. That's something I'd want to go play in, run around,
I
snowball fight. I
know.
mean, it looks so awesome.
Yes, very beautiful, and we're looking forward to the tournament this coming summer.
Absolutely.
Very different conditions.
Yes, for sure.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, speaking of conditions, the roads not good right
No.
now, right? I mean, they're getting better compared to when we got out, but if you don't have to get out and drive, why would you, right? But for those who do have to get out, we do have some advice that's actually very helpful.
Yeah, Action News 5's Tavares Haywood talked with driving experts about how to drive if you have to in these kind of slick and slippery conditions.
It could result in us seeing a little bit more snow than originally expected.
Those posted speed limits are not going to be, they shouldn't be something that you go by.
In other words, slow down. For us here in the South, snow and driving really don't mix too well. Experts are telling people to stay at home if possible, but if you must get out, distance is going to be your best friend while driving.
It's all about your reaction time. When you add snow and ice on the ground, that can take 10 to 20 times longer for your vehicle to stop.
Both Heidi Salas and Nick Gerard work for Maxwell Driving School. Best tips for driving in this mess are going back to the basics.
Make sure your tire pressure is where it's supposed to be. Make sure you have your route planned out and you know where you're going. Do everything in simple steps from braking and turning.
And so everything should be smooth and gentle when you're driving on ice and snow.
Gerard has been a driving instructor for almost 2 decades. He says there's an art, so to speak, when driving in the snow or on ice. He says always keep both hands on the wheel, and most of all, don't panic if you start to slide.
Worst thing you could do at that moment is start turning your steering wheel. With no grip, it's not going to respond to your steering anyways. So you just want to keep your foot on the brake, keep looking where you want the car to go. You don't want to start looking around at everything you could potentially hit because you're probably going to hit it at that point.
Tavares Haywood, Action News 5.
Okay, we want to go right now to Action News 5's Tavares Haywood. He's live.
Yeah, T. Wood, you've just been doing it all. First of all, shout out to you, T. Wood. You've been working hard, and we appreciate your hard work. Tell us where you are in the storm tracker right now and how things are looking.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I am on Shelby Drive. What's this cross street, Mario? Shelby Drive and Kirby right now. Again, like I've been seeing much of the morning, the roads are salted, but it's becoming slushy. That slushy type of snow. Let me show you. As you can see, it's very slushy and it's kind of difficult to navigate. It'll definitely move your car wherever it wants to move it. We just interviewed Doug McGowan in regards to that power pole that was snapped. He said he anticipated that pole being replaced sometime here soon. He says that right now it's affecting about 100 or so, a little more than 100 or so customers. We are actually going to head toward Collierville and see what Collierville is like right now. But again, we are on Shelby Drive, just past Kirby Parkway, where things are okay. You know, they're much better than we were seeing this morning. It's kind of some puddling as well in some of these roads. I'm not sure if the temperature is dropping or what, but again, you just definitely want to use caution, as you just saw in my story before there. You can keep straight. Let's go straight. Again, you just want to, we had Ross right now in Shelby Drive. You definitely want to use all of those tips that those professionals said. You know, pack your patience, drive slow, and distance is going to be your best friend in driving in all of this mess here. So I want to send it back to you guys in the studio, and I'll give you some updates here pretty soon.
All right, T. Wood, I have a question. I know you've been driving around all 3 Mid-South states. Have you had a chance to get out in this? Is this something you're planning to do with your boys later? And if you have gotten out and played in it, how has it been?
So yeah, I actually plan on taking my boys out. You know, my boys, the oldest one, he's from Montana, and my second boy, he's from Michigan. So this is pretty normal for them. And as a dad, a Michigander and a Montanan, you know, I have to go out, and the southern boy has to go out and deal with it. So we was out last week at Tom Lee Park, and it was like 20 degrees outside. My chin is trembling, but they had a ball, to say the least. So of course they've been asking, is it going to snow? Is it going to snow? So I'm gonna take them outside for sure today.
Let me ask you this, T-Wood, before we let you go. You've been out since 4 o'clock this morning. What's the worst thing you've seen in your travels all across all 3 Mid-South states?
I think the worst thing that I saw this morning was, the amount of cars that are just kind of slipping and sliding all over the place. We were driving northbound on, I-55 when we caught on live camera that SUV was just kind of sliding off the road, going back and forth, and that's been pretty much the going on the entire morning. So that's been by far the worst thing. The best thing that I've seen was that stretch of 240 by the flyover all the way down to Lamar. It's pretty clear. That's a little puddling, but that's probably the best thing that I've seen so far. The best road conditions I've seen so far. So again, just because it looks good doesn't mean you need to speed. Like I said in my package, in other words, slow down and get to your destination.
Okay.
T-Wood, thank you so much for that update. I'm sure we'll check in with you in just a bit. We appreciate it.
Right. Let's go to First Alert Traffic Tracker Taylor Tucker.
We actually have another reporter joining us. We have Garner Montgomery.
Garner Montgomery.
First time we're seeing him this morning. Garner, you've got some fun going on. Where are you, Garner?
Yes, so we're having a pretty intense snowball fight out here at the Chick-fil-A in South Haven. We've got this Snowball Pro. He's got a big one, but he just got annihilated. It's a rough one out here for this kid. We are hoping for the best. He's getting, his eyes are bigger than his hands, seems like. He's grabbing the biggest snowballs he can. I don't know if he's able to throw them that far. Right now, I just traveled down the interstate to get here to South Haven, and it's definitely traversable, but don't tell your boss that. It's you still need to go slow when you're traveling on the roads if you have to, but it's best to stay home and enjoy this weather we're having. It's not like this everywhere else. Sometimes some people are getting blizzards up north of us. Some people are getting just very sloshy slow down south. So here in the Mid-South, it's almost perfect how much fun you can have with this snow. But again, be safe. Stay at home if you can. Build a snowman with your family. Enjoy these memories. Some young kids are seeing their first snow like this, so definitely worth taking advantage of if you're here in the Mid-South during this winter weather. I'll head it back to the newsroom unless y'all have any questions. Thank y'all so much for stopping by as we're enjoying this.
We want to thank you, Gardner. I mean, you're the one who's out in the thick of it all, and that's probably some of the best video we've seen. It makes me happy just to watch, Ari.
I know. It's really nice to see the kids play. Garner, I'm sure we'll hear much more from you throughout the morning. Thank you so much for that update. All right, that was fun.
It was. I love seeing that because that's what a lot of kids should be doing today on a day off. Let's get an update on the traffic conditions right now with Traffic Tracker Taylor Tucker. Hey, Taylor.
Hey guys, what's not fun? Driving in these conditions. I'll tell you that. It's been a pretty busy morning in the traffic department. This camera is frozen, but what I want you to see is this stalled out vehicle along 240. This is near Sam Cooper as you're making your way in that westbound direction near Walnut Grove. That's the story for this morning. T-Wood mentioned how he's been seeing a lot of cars slipping and sliding, and that's been the case for me as well. I've been tracking a lot of just stalled out vehicles and vehicles that have ran off the roadway there, and that's the case here at 240 near Sam Cooper. So just take it easy for your morning commute if you're traveling in that area. Got several cameras to show you this morning for those of you traveling along 385 this is near Kirby Parkway there. Those of you traveling in that westbound or eastbound direction, my camera is frozen, but you see the big picture here. The roadways, they are still a mess, still slick out there. Those of you traveling along 385, making your way towards 240, or those of you headed in that eastbound direction, maybe headed towards Forest Hill, Irene. Take a look at your traffic flow map this morning. For the most part, we're seeing yellow now. Earlier this morning, we saw a lot of red. I think we had more cars out and about. Right now, we are seeing fewer cars, and I'm not complaining about that. I like that. I want you to stay at home and enjoy the snow in your backyard, in your front yard. Have a snow fight, but I don't want you out on those roadways because it's definitely been pretty busy. As I zoom out this morning, you can just see wherever you may be traveling, not just here in that 240 loop, but my friends in Arkansas traveling along I-40, Highway 70, I-55 from Marion. It's a slick mess wherever you are traveling. Now, You're planning out your morning. You just have to get out. You have to go to work. I had to come to work. You have to go to work. Let's talk about it. Those of you coming from West Memphis this morning, working the I-40 direction, you're in Bridge there, you're looking at about an 11-minute commute coming from West Memphis. Working your I-55 direction, 13 minutes. And that's a little longer because of the road work there. Keep in mind, both of these commutes, it's usually like a 7 to 6 minute commute. Today, it's going to take you a little longer, and that's not just the case for my friends in West Memphis, all across the board. So if you're headed out the door, plan ahead, give yourself an extra 30 to 40 minutes for your morning commute, and slow it down on those slick roadways.
All right, Taylor, thank you so much.
We got Action News 5's Tavarius Haywood once again in the storm tracker, certainly giving us real-time updates for what? It's almost 4 hours now.
I know. Shout out to him and photojournalist Mario Harris. We really appreciate you guys, and I know you guys are being safe out there. Tell us where you are now.
So I am on Riverdale and Winchester. Riverdale is actually pretty good. It's just a lot of sloth on the roads right now, but you definitely want to take your time, no matter what the roads may look like. We're actually going to hop on 385 up here and take our way down to, I believe, Houston Levee, just to kind of see what things are looking like in the Carterville area, just kind of drive through town and all that sort of stuff. Again, just to get a good look at what the road conditions are looking like now. As you probably can see right there, that vehicle right there, I believe, is stalled and trying to get out of the road there. And there's been a lot of that this morning as well. You know, folks are just kind of in those little grooves and, you know, just spinning out, you know. So, and what I've also been seeing this morning too is people helping each other as well. But they're doing it safely for sure. So again, road conditions on Riverdale right now seem to be okay right now. I'm just kind of looking down Winchester. The roads are looking pretty good as well. So I'll give you an update in a few, just what the roads are looking like in Carterville. Back to y'all in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, T. Wood. It'll be interesting to see the roads in Carterville soon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're approaching 6 hours on the air here with Ariana and our whole team, Eric Brill and Taylor Tucker, Jerry Askin, Tavarius. It has been very comprehensive, our coverage, and we've been live. We have the team coverage, in-depth reporting all morning long, just to give you an idea of what is happening as it happens here in Memphis and the Mid-South.
Yeah, and of course, we still have several more hours, not only of coverage, but of snow, of course. And so, yeah, we're going to keep you updated on all the conditions, from the roads to the skies, outages, how crews are treating the roads in all 3 Mid-South states. So we've got you covered.
Yeah, and that's one of the good aspects of this is that our power crews and the utilities across Memphis and the Mid-South are holding up well.
Yeah.
You know, we have very little power outages, which is great to see when you consider 31 degrees right now in Midtown. It's colder in other areas. And something else, Ari, which is kind of interesting, is that this snow, while it is wet and certainly sticking to the ground and accumulating, it's not the clumps of snow that we would see. I mean, it's going to be a lot, and it's certainly going to accumulate. Sometimes when it's colder out, you'll have those dry pieces of snow that just tend to be almost powder. You know, our meteorologist, Eric Brill, is from New York. Yeah. He knows all about snow, and he can kind of go really in depth when it comes to the type of snow that we have here and what it means for the Mid-South this weekend.
Yeah, so we'll continue checking in with Eric in just a bit. But you mentioned power outages lately and how we're fortunate. And I have to agree, I have the outage map here. And I'll just tell you that we have, are you ready? Oh, yeah. Okay, you walked over there, so I didn't know what we were doing. So, I'll finish this.
So ironically, I'm literally updating the power outage map that we have on our system here. So that's, I mean, that was really ironic that you were literally talking about that.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, still 99.59% of customers have power. That's great news.
Right.
1,700 about or without power, a lot of them in the Midtown area, Few and Bartlett and things of that nature. So again, we'll keep you updated on that. Eric, what do you have to tell us?
So as far as the power outages that we have here around the Mid-South, been kind of keep an eye on that. I'm going to flip the screen behind me back over so this way you could see exactly what I'm referring to. Bada bing, bada boom. Power outage map here. So this is looking, I will say this might not be exactly 100% accurate, but it's at least more accurate than what I could kind of spitball off the top of my head here. So this is kind of looking at the wide view of things here as far as just really our viewing area, the Mid-South is concerned. And it does indicate that there are 100 customers, 100 people, 100 customers, I guess is the best way to put it, without power for Panola County, Lafayette County, over into DeSoto County. Once you move into Lafayette County, rather, that's where there are some more power outages here around the Mid-South. So certainly keeping an eye on that. Other thing really keeping an eye on right now are the snow totals that we are seeing here across the Mid-South. Ariana, I guess we're going back to you. What you got?
Yeah, we are going to jump in now to a press conference from Memphis Fire. Let's see what they've got going on.
And hoping everyone is being safe today out here on the streets. The Memphis Fire Department, we're actually doing pretty well. We've got most of our shift change in now. Our call volume is really about an average day, so that's good news. So just let you know, your fire department, we're open 24/7, able to respond. And you know, right now, I'd really like to just thank all the first responders, all the people who braved the weather to come into work today. To me, they seem like they're all heroes, but they are people too. So they have, you know, they have family and they have the same situations that other people have. So a lot of them sacrifice a lot to come to work today. The other people that it takes to make the fire department run, the people from general services, I want to just thank all of them. Public Works has done a great job, it seems, with clearing the main roadways. So we have noticed that we haven't really had any serious issues getting around where we need to go. So the new snow ice clearing system seems to be working. So that's all good news from us. A lot of you know that the Office of Emergency Management also falls underneath the fire department. We also partner with the hospitality hub for the warming centers. Those will be open. Normally they're just open during the night, but during the storm, until further notice, we're going to keep them open 24 hours at a time. And there's 2 locations for those. The single women and families, we asked to go to the Washington location, 590 Washington, and single men and couples. We partnered with First Baptist Church at 200 East Parkway North to go there. We did have about 157 people at the church location last night and about 55 people at the Washington location. We're not to capacity, so we're still doing well, fairly well there. Anyone that's seeking more permanent shelter, also encouraged to call the Memphis Union Mission. And I see Bakara's on MATA is still providing, thank you so much for your support, is providing rides, transportation to the hospitality hub for people who need a ride. That number is 297-1680. So if you run across someone who needs a ride to the hub, you can call that number and they will arrange for pickup and delivery to the hub location or to the First Baptist Church location. Another thing I like to bring up during times like these is if you're a commercial building owner or you're a business, what we've learned the last years during some of the deep freezes is sprinkler systems, when it gets cold like this, can really be a problem for the water supply system in the city. So our fire marshal's office has been collaborating closely with the sprinkler system companies, MLGW, to identify locations where they normally may have trouble. So to keep from having those water supply issues in the future. So if you do have a commercial business that has a sprinkler system, make sure you're in contact with your sprinkler company, make sure your system's up to date, and consider leaving the heat on in the building if you're not occupying it today, and even sometimes providing a fire watch. So if you have any questions about that, you can definitely reach out to your sprinkler company or the fire marshal's office to provide additional information. Otherwise, you know, the streets, it's a little slow go, even though we have big fire trucks and ambulances. They still have to get there safely before we can render service. So just want to remind you of that when you're calling 911, that is for emergencies only. life-threatening situations, fires, emergency medical incidents, things like that. So please try to not call for non-emergency issues. And when you do call, be prepared to provide the details. Know where you are. Your exact location really helps, or any specific details that we need to know before we get there. The types of injuries or the hazards definitely be something we need to know. If you're calling from a mobile phone, be sure you give us a really accurate address and a cross street number. That helps us find you and get there safer. And also, if you call and you are delayed, because sometimes that does happen when we get busy, don't hang up and call back. Just stay on the line and someone will get back to you as soon as they can. Be patient. We know there's a lot going on out there, but our dispatchers are there. They came to work today and they're ready to serve you, but they may be experiencing some a little bit longer call times than normal. And really, I think that's it for the update. I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
That was a update from Memphis Fire Chief Gina Sweat. She surprisingly said the call volume is similar to an average day, which I guess is good news, right? She did say that, of course, things are a slow go for the crews who do have to get out to help people. And she did remind people, hey, use that call line for emergencies only. If it's not an emergency, please don't call them. It is going to take a while for them to get there because it is a slow go of things. But again, emergencies, fires, life-threatening situations, things of that nature. So we'll have more from her throughout the morning and throughout the day right here on Action News 5. But right now, we want to check in with our Stephanie Douglas. She is in Cooper Young. Stephanie, how are things looking right now? Good morning.
Good morning, Ariana. So yeah, we've been chatting all this morning in Midtown, and like you said, I'm in the Cooper Young area. As you can see, this is a look at what the roads are looking like. You can see there's sort of a pathway here. Cars have been making their way through. You can see one is coming through right now. Not too bad, not too bad. They're not speeding, but still officials are telling people to stay off the roadways if you don't have to be out here. But they never said anything about the sidewalk. And that's where we found a group of people checking on cats. Can you please come here? Can you please come here and tell me a little bit about what you're doing out in the cold? And I don't know what's this on your face, but tell us who you are.
My name is Will.
Okay.
I saw this on Amazon a few days ago.
Okay.
I thought it was an incredibly stupid purchase until right now, and I thought it was the perfect reason to take it out, test it, and go check it out on these cats right here.
Yes, because pets are important in this cold. They're in the warmth, by the way. I just want to say that. They're staying warm, but you guys just wanted to check in and see how they're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the most important thing to do in this type of weather.
Would you put your pets out in this type of weather?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so just letting our viewers know, guys, don't leave your pets out. It is very cold. Our meteorologist, Eric Brill, has said it's something in the 30s, but guys, it feels like temperatures are something in the 20s. So you don't even want to be out here that long. But, you know, we do have a group out here. They're just, you know, having fun in the snow. And this is what the roadways are looking at once again in the Cooper Young area. You can see it's pretty much a ghost town. So people are in the warmth. You know what I mean? They're just enjoying the day, watching Action News 5 as they should. So we're going to keep monitoring it here in the Cooper Young area, and we'll bring you more live coverage. Ariana, Andrew, back to you.
All right, Stephanie, quick question. You said there are some folks that are out there playing and having a good time. Is it possible that we can pan the camera and see what they're up to? I love seeing people having fun snow days.
They want to check on our friends. Okay, so here we have a group. This is the group that was checking on the cats here in the Cooper Young area. They have a rescue out here, which I just found out about. It's called Utopia.
House of Muse.
House of Muse. I'm sorry, House of Muse. It's a rescue for cats, and they just wanted to come out on a cold morning to check on the cats. Do you love cats?
Oh, so much. And I mean, you know, it's a beautiful, fun day for a tromp in the snow. Might as well check on the cats at the House of Muse.
I love what they're wearing too. It's unique. Yeah, Ariana, that's what they're doing.
All right, looks like, listen, they're having fun, but they're also checking in on the animals. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We'll check in with you in just a bit. And I agree, it is unique. I've never seen that.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Wow. You know what, though? It's great to see people kind of getting out there on foot, enjoying what we have here, because it is so rare to have so much snow in Memphis in the Mid-South like this. We haven't had any snow so far this season, and boy, did we get some today.
Yeah, we did. Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Eric Brill, who's got a tool with him. What's going on, Eric?
Yeah.
You know, this is what we use when we're used to this kind of snow here around the Mid-South. Got ourselves a little snow scraper,
nice.
A little snow brush here.
I'm going to need that later.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I made sure I brought two of them because I figured all of a sudden I'm going to have a lot of really good friends. I think I might need to start having people like pay me, though, in like snacks or something like that because
nice.
I got you.
We're going to need that at some point today. All right, as far as we have going on, though, throughout the Mid-South, as I try to make this bad boy a little bit smaller here, I bet Donna wishes she had this for her deck here. I'll try to do a little bit of a favor and clean it off just a little bit here. Over into McNairy County. So, you know, I've only been here in the Mid-South for, let's see, I got here in late June, so I've been here for a little over 6 months now. I can't say I've heard of the town Chawala before I kind of saw it on a map. And hey, you want to know what? It does indeed exist. So that's a cool picture that Don is able to capture here as far as presumably the backyard is concerned. This next picture coming in from Gary over in Nesbitt with a church out there that is certainly a bit festive with the snow that has fallen up to this point of the day into Mississippi. Always do appreciate those pictures very much. Got a couple more on the way too. Lexi snapping this picture with a snowman over in Walnut. Looking like the snowman. It's got a little bit of competition as far as the height department is concerned here. And this is honestly really good weather to turn around and make a snowman, snowballs, things of that nature here, because it's that wet snow here. If you kind of squeeze it, you can almost literally squeeze the water out of it just because there's a high water content within it. And the last picture I do believe that I have here is from Jill over in Arlington with the lawn furniture outside, presumably near the pool, that has certainly seen a bit of snow across the Mid-South. Last one I do actually have here is from John Nutt over in Eads. And hey, we really do appreciate those pictures very much between myself and Jerry Askin, been able to show off some of the different scenery that we have seen here around the Mid-South, and it certainly has been a snowy one. I guess I kind of put more pictures than I thought I did. We're just going to go through them yet again because, hey, you want to know what? You don't often get too many snow events that are this significant here around the Mid-South, and why not? All right, as far as the power outages are concerned here, and I do want to note that this map it's relatively accurate. As far as the numbers that are seen here, there might be slight variations, but it does kind of round numbers off here. But this is indicating that there are 100 customers without power for Panola, as well as into Lafayette County, and even into DeSoto County. Between Shelby County and Fayette County, there are about 400 customers without power right now. So this is certainly something that we will be keeping an eye on, and since we are still dealing with the snow around the Mid-South, certainly something to really hone in on. The snow totals that we've seen up to this point thus far, yet again, kind of unofficial numbers here, just radar estimated numbers. About 10 inches of snow for Tunica, 10 inches or about 11 inches of snow for Mariana, and just to the north of that near Forest City, about 7 inches. And once you head into Crittenden County, that's where about 8 to 9 inches of snow has fallen. The same for the north side of Shelby County. So there certainly has been a whopper of a storm. And one thing to really look at is how much snow have we seen over the past hour. So you can see where those heaviest snow bands are, stretching from Mariana up to the north and into West Memphis, Marion, Millington, all the way into Arlington and northern Fayette County, just to the northeast of Eads, and even towards Brownsville, seeing some of the heaviest snow totals here over the past hour. Speaking of which, the radar across the Mid-South right now is still quite active. Zooming it back out here. Notice that there is some pink and green on the screen, especially into Lafayette County. That's where there is some rain mixing in with that snow here, and it does continue to drive to the north. We've been kind of noting how that Highway 178 corridor, 278 corridor is one that we've been keeping an eye on here with that mixed potential, but there is still some really heavy snow falling across the Mid-South, stretching yet again from about Helena, West Helena to the east of Mariana, up to the north into Memphis, West Memphis, Millington, Munford, Arlington, and Oakland. So certainly a subpar day of weather across the region here. Let's look over into Oxford right now. Certainly have some raindrops or just water droplets on there. Not really too sure if these are necessarily freezing rain, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do get at least a little bit of rain around there right now. And since temperatures aren't exactly warm, yeah, we could see some freezing rain still linger around, especially into Lafayette County. If you're driving from Oxford to Tupelo, really recommend not doing so because those roads are certainly seeing some issues out there. And this is what it looks like above 1960 Union. So certainly seeing some subpar weather conditions here across the Mid-South. So be ready for it because we are going to see some snow continue here over the rest of the morning and into the afternoon hours. So Andrew and Ariana kind of looking at different pictures and scenery around the Mid-South. We'll be talking more about that forecast here in just a few minutes.
Okay, 10:15, the time on a Friday that has been snow covered.
I know. I can't believe this is our view, but it's beautiful. It's gorgeous if you don't have to drive in it, right?
Right.
Let's check in with our Garner Montgomery. He's live for us in DeSoto County. Garner, last time we saw you, there were a few kids having a snowball fight. What are you seeing right now?
So right now, the fights are gone. People are just heading to and from where they need to be in this nasty weather. The roads have been pretty well treated compared to years past, so people are able to make it from one place to another, but the snow's still falling. It's still really wet and sloshy on the road, so be extra careful when you're driving. Take some time. There might be some crazies on the road. People want to test out their trucks or their Jeep Wranglers and test out the four-wheel drive. Make sure to avoid those guys. Let them have their fun, but make sure to stay safe when you're on the road if you have to be. Of course, just enjoy this Mid-South winter weather if you can by staying at home and making a snowman, doing all the fun things that that group was doing earlier. But right now, all the businesses are closed. The only place we can find that will be open is probably the Waffle House here in South Haven, but we'll keep checking throughout the afternoon. As for the snowfall, right now, the snow is, I'd say, above my ankles, and I am wearing boots right now, so it's definitely been pretty significant. Right now, the snow is only really tiny flakes, but it is coming down pretty fast. It was a lot bigger snowflakes earlier in the morning, so it's going to keep going like this until we get past this. Of course, our meteorologist, Eric Brill, will have the details on the snowfall, but as for what I'm seeing right here, small flakes, snow up past my ankles, and sloshy roads that are traversable, but make sure you are staying extra careful when you're out here traveling if you have to. If not, stay at home and enjoy the weather, enjoy some TV, read a book, do what you need to do on a Friday off in this wonderful winter weather. Live in South Haven, Garner Montgomery, Action News 5. I'll send it back to the studio.
Yeah, hey, Garner, before we let you go, we want to ask, because if full disclosure, you've been with us just a few months. We know you're from Starkville, Mississippi. This is your first snowfall here in Memphis and the Mid-South. What do you think?
Not the first time I've seen this kind of weather. If you remember last week, it was ice week. I was only just a few miles south down in Tupelo where it was pretty significant there. My mom did send me a picture from Starkville, Mississippi, where I'm from, and the snow is really sloshy out there, not very high. This is actually fantastic snow weather compared to what we're seeing further south. So we're definitely lucky compared to the folks down in Mississippi where I'm from. We've got some friends who are enjoying their time in this weather. So, you know, definitely really excited to do my first winter live shot here with Action News 5. But yeah, this is definitely better than what we're seeing further south. So definitely worth taking advantage of if you're in the Mid-South and this is your first time seeing this kind of winter weather.
Okay, Garner Montgomery reporting live in DeSoto County. So glad, as you mentioned, Garner, that it is not icy as much as it is snowy out there. Thank you.
For sure. And in his live shot, we saw maybe more than we should have of people going a little too fast, maybe having a little too much fun out there while in their car. So definitely want to be safe. Don't want to do that.
I know. I mean, these are not normal conditions. And there was, at one point, there was a truck that was trying to pass another truck. I don't know if it was like a stoplight and it just turned green. But guys, I mean, today's the day to just take your time or not go out at all.
Exactly. And for those who are going to stay home and they've been just getting out in their yards or their houses, I have loved seeing the photos. I know you have.
Same.
Jerry's been kind of having a compilation for us of some of the photos we've gotten. Jerry, what can you show us?
Hey, good morning, Ariana and Drew. I've really enjoyed getting all your pictures and videos this morning from this Friday snow day. So keep them coming. I want to show you off just one really fast. This is a photo here. You see the body of water. So again, I could imagine there's no boating going on or no fishing in this winter weather. So we know many of you will likely step outside and snap it up in the snow today, and we want to see all of your snow pictures and your videos. So we have video of snow in Berkeley here. Thank you, Tara LaCastro, for this video. It's a great snow video on this first alert weather day. So thank you, Tara, for sending in that beautiful photo before the sunrise. Also in Bartlett, this video shows the snow there. It is from Brittany Jarvis. You know, I hope you and your family enjoy this Friday snow day. I can see it, the trees there, the little tree limb there covered with snow, and the road on your neighborhood covered with snow as well. And thanks to our news director here at Action News 5, Mark Little. He sent in this video of Wolf River Road. Dash camera video appears showing the roads there in Collierville. Thank you, Mark, for sending this in. You see the roads there were pretty, for the most part, drivable. As you see, he's making it there in Collierville on Wolf River Road. And we want to see you and those snow pictures. Use this QR code here on your screen. We'll keep it up for a moment to give you time to scan it. But again, it's a very simple process to send us your pictures and videos. Here's how you do it. Hold your phone's camera up to it. It'll take you right to our Action News 5 website. There's also a tab that says scan your photo or something like that. There you can submit your pictures and videos directly to us. We want to share them here on air on our Action News 5 website. Again, thank you so much for your videos and pictures, and keep them coming.
Yeah, Jerry, something like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Jerry, be keeping it real with this.
You know, and we've been getting a lot of texts and emails from different people all across. I got a great text from Brittany Bryant, our old meteorologist. She's working at St. Jude right now, and she said she's loving the snow day with her children. She has 2 boys, and showed me a picture of Cam. He's so cute.
I know.
And you know, it's just. That's one of those things that everybody should just enjoy, that snow day with your family.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to getting my little one out there. I talked to my husband briefly, and he was saying, like, she keeps looking outside. She's really right. She's tried on her snowsuit like 3 times already. But she's waiting for me, so I'll be home there soon, sweet girl.
You have to share pictures with us.
Of course
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
All right, let's check in with traffic tracker Taylor Tucker with look at the roads we keep talking about. Hey, Taylor.
Hey, guys. On the roadways this morning. Take a look at your traffic flow map. I want to zoom in for you along I-40 just past Airline as you're making your way towards 269, 385 area, that westbound direction. We had an early morning crash working, and just as I was walking up here, here's a perfect angle of that. You can still see that stalled out semi truck that has traffic at a standstill, which means we're not moving at all on 40 as you're making your way closer to that 385, 269 area. I think we're trying to squeeze by there, by that stalled out truck, but it's definitely a struggle there. So if this is a part of your morning commute, I'm letting you know right now it's not the prettiest. Traffic is moving slowly there along I-40 in that westbound direction just past Airline, making your way near 269. Got another angle for you outside. This is a live look for those of you traveling along 240 at Airways. If you're getting away this weekend, or you thought you were getting away, remember to check that flight status. We've been checking the statuses as well, and I've counted over 10 canceled flights and several delays, so make sure you're looking at that as you're making your way along 240 at Airways. Here's a look at your traffic flow map this morning. It looks a lot better than what it looked in the 5 o'clock and even 4 o'clock hour this morning. It was covered with a lot of red. Right now we're seeing a little bit of yellow. To my surprise, we really don't have a huge crowd out there on the roadways, and that's really what I wanted to see this morning. I didn't want to see a huge crowd out there. I know many of you still have to get to work, so I get that. I had to come to work this morning. But the good news is light traffic, but the roadways is still slick out there. The biggest crowd I'm seeing this morning is on I-40, just near 269 this morning. Remember, it's that westbound direction. We got a stalled out semi truck that's slowing traffic down.
All right, Taylor, thank you for that update because the roads are nothing to play with right now.
Yeah, no question about it. We have Stephanie Douglas. Our team coverage continues, live in-depth team coverage all morning long here at Action News 5, including the Action News 5 digital channel. And Stephanie Douglas is giving us updates in Midtown.
Yeah, Stephanie, how's it going?
Well, guys, things are going good, but my hair is getting wet and my eyelashes are getting a little snowy. But hey, it's still cute. It's like that wintry look. We're here in the Cooper Young area, and in case you guys were wondering, Young Ave, yeah, they're open. they're open. People are just going into work, so that might be a spot to get some hot cocoa and have some conversations with later. But right now I can show you that the roads, they're pretty much dead. I want to show you what type of snow is coming down. Do you see that slush? Guys, do you see that? That is that wintry mix that a lot of people are driving on that sometimes not is the safest. So that's why you heard what MFD said, you know, just don't be on the roads. I actually spoke with MPD today, and they told me between the hours of 5 a.m. to around 9:30 this morning, they responded to 26 accidents, calls for accidents already on the road. So just make sure you guys are being safe. Look how these drivers are driving right here. That is the type of speed. Well, they're going a little fast, but just a little slower than that, okay? A little slower than that. Just make sure you guys are exercising caution when you guys are out on these roads, because I took a slip. And, so it's even difficult to walk in. So just make sure you guys are driving safely in these conditions.
Okay, so, you know, Stephanie, we appreciate you giving us those real-time updates. And I agree, those cars behind you, the cars and trucks going way too fast. Was that truck that's behind you right now, was that going backwards?
Yeah, what are they doing?
Yes, they were. And I think they're kind of, okay, they're on the move now. I think they kind of stalled out a little bit. That's why he was taking a break. But they got everything. The wheels are working. They are taking it slow. That's a beauty shot right there. Yes, they're exercising caution while driving. I think they're heading into work too. Like I said, they're going to be open because they were bumping some music. And I'm like, hey.
I love it. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you in just a bit.
She's so funny.
She's so funny. So much personality. It's perfect for these snow days to help brighten the mood. And that's what it should be. You know, if you're not on the road and your safety's not in jeopardy, it's a fun day to just be outside, play, enjoy the snow.
No question about it. As we've been saying, MLGW holding up for much of Shelby County when it comes to outages, homes and businesses in this really cold weather. They are right now most of a 99.95 have power.
Which is great news. We've got an update from MLGW President and CEO Doug McGowan just a little while ago.
Yeah, I think there's a portion that we'd like to play for you now.
Let me just talk generally about the system. It's holding up very well. We have a snow event today. Our systems are all operating normally. Unfortunately, when you do have snow, you have some slick roads, and occasionally you do have cars that hit our power poles. And that's what happened down here today at Shelby and Lamar Avenue. You have two poles that are down. A truck hit one pole and it pulled the other one down with it. It's impacting about 115 customers. So we have about 160 customers out across the entire system, 115 from this particular incident. So what our crews are doing, as they do 24/7 in response to this, they're out here, they'll be removing the pole that's broken. They'll be de-energizing the lines while they do that. They'll reset the new pole, reattach the lines, and then everybody will be back energized again. So this happened about 6:30 this morning. The crews were out here assessing what they needed to do, and now they're going about the business of replacing the pole, re-energizing the lines.
What's the response time, you know, if these type of incidents happen?
Yeah, so it's very quick. Our troubleshooter was out here just a few minutes after the outage occurred. His job is to assess what do we need to do to fix it. So we know there was an outage. He has to come on scene and say, what do we think we need to do to correct this? So he makes an assessment. Once he gets that assessment, he puts the equipment list, puts the crew list together, sends that back to our system operations. They dispatch a crew to come out here. Takes them a few minutes to get here because they have to go get the equipment. They have to get the pole, get the appropriate wires, anything they need. So they were down here, you know, within an hour or so of the actual incident occurring, so they can begin the process of restoring power.
And is that the typical process? One crew comes out to assess, and then afterwards another crew comes to repair?
So yeah, the correct term is a troubleshooter will come out. That's one person who's an expert in electric distribution. He's an expert in electric distribution, and he can assess the system and determine what needs to happen. And then it saves our crew time from sending an entire crew with the bucket trucks down, having them to have to go back to pick up the equipment. He tells them what they need, they gather it all at the shop and come on down here. It makes for a much more efficient process.
How long does the actual repair take?
It really depends on the complexity. So these guys will probably be here for a few hours. What you see behind us is a couple of poles with several circuits on there. So they have to detach the lines from the pole, then remove the pole, then reattach the line. So, and they want to make sure they're doing it safely because this is 23,000 volts behind us, and they want to make sure that they're doing everything safely. So they take their time, they're very deliberate. So it is a complex system, but our guys are really good at restoring power when things like this happen.
Okay, here is the MLGW map that we've been talking about all morning long. Just under 1,800 customers, that's homes and businesses without power. 99.57% of customers do have power. Great news on a Friday.
Absolutely. We've done these storms the past several years, and it could be a lot worse. So hopefully power gets back on for those folks shortly. And I know that crews are working hard to do so, but of course safety is important. We also have an update from the city of Memphis about how they have been handling the winter weather as well.
Yeah, we've checked in with Public Works Director Scott Morgan about the roadways and what they did to prepare for this storm. Let's get an update from him now.
So update for this morning, all of our crews were deployed 10:30 as well as 11 o'clock last night, monitoring roadways and the routes. Salt has been applied to all routes. Most crews are making their way through the routes the second time. Some plows have been deployed and will continue to be deployed throughout the morning. The roadways are slushy, which is good, which means the salt is being effective. We're monitoring bridges, and overpasses to make sure there's no freezing for those elevated surfaces. And we'll continue to treat those with salt just like the roadways.
Okay, and one other thing we want to mention is that Memphis-based shipping giant FedEx has already mentioned and announced earlier this morning that there are some disruptions in shipping, which is expected in these kinds of situations. I mean, we've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of cancellations across the city of U.S. airlines, and now FedEx announcing that there are some shipping delays across the country as well. Yeah,
and in addition to the 1,800 or so customers without power with MLGW, Eric, you say you've been seeing some outages at other places as well?
Yeah, always kind of a good idea to keep an eye on. Obviously,
Sure.
the majority of the population we have here in the Mid-South is within Shelby County. But outside of that, too, we certainly have our issues, too. Looking at the graphics, there you go, for Fayette County, just to the east of Shelby County. 400 customers without power right now. That could be, of course, residential areas. It could be businesses. So that is certainly something worth monitoring. 100 customers in DeSoto County in northern Mississippi, 200 customers in Panola County in Mississippi, and 100 customers over into Lafayette County, rather, in Mississippi near Oxford. So going to continue to keep an eye on these here as the rest of the day does unfold here across the Mid-South. Of course, we have seen plenty of snow here area-wide. Look at some of these snow totals, racking up over 10 inches of snow throughout parts of St. Francis and Tunica counties, even into Mississippi County, 8 inches of snow. Notice towards Clarksdale, though, only about an inch worth of snow there. So that rain snow did kind of mess around with some of those totals there down into Coahoma and Quitman and even far southern Phillips counties. But we certainly have racked up quite a bit of snow as well, especially closer to the Mississippi River for that matter. Notice to the north, too, really haven't given them too much love in Crockett County, Lauderdale County, and Dyer County, at least with the radar estimates here. And I do want to point that out. These are radar estimates and not necessarily set in stone, but they'll give you at least a rough idea, about 2 to 3 inches of snow. So, hey, pretty much everybody has seen at least a little bit of snow here. Some areas certainly seeing a lot of snow that has fallen. Byhalia, too, also closing in on 10 inches of snow up to this point. Over the past hour, always a good idea to see, hey, who has seen the most snow? I do want to point out, too, I was just outside here, Action News 5, 15 minutes ago. We had just under 6 inches of snow here from the different depths that I was able to rack up. So worthwhile to note that, too. But as far as the past hour is concerned here, from Marianna, just to the east of Forest City, West Memphis, Marion, Millington, Fraser, Raleigh, stretching up to the northeast here, including Bartlett, as well as Brownsville. I was going to say, I just got like attacked by bless yous. Good gravy. And you probably said bless you too on the other side of the camera. And to that, I say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew and Ariana. I heard you on that.
You got it.
But it's a good idea to see what snow we've had here over the past hour, and we could see exactly where that's going. And the wider view of things with that radar, it does kind of look like we're seeing a bit of a I don't want to say a snow squall because that's a bit of an exaggeration and that's very specific criteria, but we are seeing heavy snow kind of consistently from about the central portion of Phillips County, almost paralleling the Mississippi River, but kind of moving a little bit southwest northeast here into Tipton County and even stretching to the east here for Hayward County. So travel conditions, yeah, we are still seeing plenty of issues all around the Mid-South, and these will likely continue as well. It does look like at least the heaviest of the snow is trying to pinwheel itself through Memphis, and hey, we've seen some pretty heavy snow here over the past few hours. But notice this band of snow. It is scooting itself slowly from the west to the east here, starting to get at least a little bit of clearing into far northwestern portions of Crittenden County, and at least into Cross County, we are starting to see some quieter conditions as well, even into Crittenden County or into St. Francis County for that matter too. So we still have a few hours to go this, folks. I wish for the sake of just kind of clearing everything out and maybe starting to see some better weather conditions. We were kind of on the backside of this, but we still have a few hours to go. Over in Oxford, the square has certainly seen its fair share of snow, maybe not as much as some areas, but it is a winter wonderland out there. Notice though that there are some droplets on that camera. Have seen a couple of cars scooting on by. It doesn't seem like there's been too many issues, so I'm going to assume that these are just really wet snowflakes more than actual snow. And while temperatures, that's a good thing to keep an eye on too. 32 degrees for Oxford. Notice 34 degrees for Corinth. That temperature has been able to climb here over the past few hours. In Midtown, looking towards downtown, excuse me on that one, the visibility here really has been subpar to put up. This is a problem that I have, and I should have known this better. I had peanuts from one of the last breaks that I just had, and you want to know what? I decided, hey, let's have some right now, and that's, you want to, Douglas, give me that. There we go. Get some butter. You're on a roll, buddy. All right. Sorry about this, but, you know, it happens.
It's okay. It's all right.
All right, you want to know what the goal is right now? It's to not make a mess of myself, and luckily I didn't. We're good. We're good. We're good. Is he going to catch it, though? Oh, jeez. You know, I'm just going to let it, I'm not even going to say what just happened there.
Okay.
We're just going to go, hey, Andrew, I appreciate that water, though. I'm sorry about that, buddy.
You got it.
All right. Sorry, I really just got thrown off a track there. Futurecast. Let's dive into the rest of the forecasts here throughout the rest of the late morning and into the afternoon hours. Don't worry, it didn't make too much of a mess. The heaviest snow is going to stretch from Tunica to the northeast here, Memphis, Somerville, even towards Brownsville. But notice as the afternoon hours do develop here, that snow will continue to cycle itself to the east. And I do anticipate between about noon and 3 p.m. rather, we are going to start to see the heaviest snow kick to the northeast, and we will start to see some lighter snow develop here. By 4 p.m., a lot of the heavier snow and just snow in general is starting to scoot out of the region, and that will continue to be the case here as the sunrise or sunset hours and the hours beyond that do develop. All right, let's talk about the potential snowfall. So thus far, the highest total that I have seen was, I believe it was 7 inches over in Senatobia. I haven't given that a check though lately, but the forecast overall has verified here pretty nicely. There was a little more snow into Lafayette County than what we have seen thus far, but overall, as far as the heaviest snow totals have been really right around the area that Tunica, DeSoto, Shelby, Crittenden, St. Francis, and Lee counties all meet up there. So that has at least boded nicely. Snow continues throughout the day. Temperatures will top off in the middle 30s, if you could call them topping off here. And those low temperatures for tonight, this is going to be the big issue. And I don't want to bury this lead here. We have seen obviously a fair amount of snow, a lot of snow in some cases across the Mid-South. It's going to get cold tonight, but the snow is going to melt a little bit and then refreeze. We're going to see some big issues here as far as the roads go with refreezing for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning. There will be some sunshine around, so that should help melt some of the snow as well. But overall, this is going to be quite an issue here for the next number of days here across the Mid-South. So Andrew and Ariana, hey, you want to know what the good news is? My mouth is no longer parched, and it looks like we do have some sunshine coming up in the forecast, but we still got to get through today first.
All right.
Yeah.
Glad you could get your water fix and you're back and ready to go.
I know. Eric's been the man of the hour, certainly, just letting us know what to expect, what's happened so far, and where are we going from here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, boy, T-Wood's been everywhere, hasn't he?
Wow. I feel like he's also been the man of the hour. He's been doing it all in all 3 states, keeping us updated in the storm tracker. T-Wood, tell us where you are now and how things are looking.
Yeah, I'm going to take that title from Eric. I think I'm going to be the man of the hour right now. I'm here on Germantown Parkway. We're right by the Agri-Center's Farmers Market, not too far from there. I've been to Cartyville and we're in Germantown now. Things have been pretty smooth so far. Of course, you know, let me show you what we got right here in front of us. The normal what we could expect, during this time. I believe there's a salt truck way up there with the flashing lights on. But this is what we can expect now. It seems like the roads are getting pretty slushy now as we get more cars and stuff on the roadways, but things are going pretty smooth. It still doesn't stop the fact that you need to slow down and don't jump and just turn off in front of people like that car just did. Take your time, get to where you're going safely. We're going to head down to Collierville, not Collierville, but Cordova here in a second, just to get a little bit more feel, so we can get all parts of town to make sure that you know what's going on, you know what the roadways are looking like. I've been to Arkansas, Mississippi, and here in Tennessee. So far here in Tennessee, it looks like that's what the best road conditions are right now, on the main roads at least. I haven't really gotten into the back roads yet, but I'm sure they probably are a mess. Usually back roads are always a mess. But if you're on the main roads here in the Memphis area, DeSoto County, I-55 was a mess earlier this morning, both going south and north as well. So you just definitely want to pay attention to where you're going. Like I spoke to Doug McGowan, this is the time to where you want to put both hands on the wheel for sure. Don't text and drive. Don't call and drive. Don't do any of that right now. So again, take your time, be safe, and pack your patience, and be nice drivers right now. I'm pretty sure some first-time drivers out there who may be on the road. So again, just take your time, guys, and be safe. I'll send it back to y'all in the studio.
All right, T. Wood, thank you so much. T. Wood, I think it's great that it looks like the roads are pretty empty right now. Are you seeing less people out than earlier? How would you compare it? I mean, it looks pretty empty right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I believe everybody's had time to get to work, I hope safely now. I think I see a salt truck up there, but yeah, it seems like everybody's at work now. But once the 5 o'clock hour hit, at 4 o'clock hour, and once lunchtime spins around, it could be a different story for sure. But I'll be here, and y'all got me for at least another 2 hours for sure. But things are pretty clear right now. At least this is on Germantown Parkway. It's the same thing, we took I-240, 385 this morning. Just like as the morning progressed, I saw less and less people on the road for sure.
So let me ask you this, T. Wood. You've been on the road now for a better part of 6 hours, and last hour you were talking about, kind of the pros and cons of what you've seen so far out there across all 3 Mid-South states. Give us the best pro, give us the best con.
The best pro right now is no one's on the road. So that's the best pro right now. The con. I think speeders. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of people speed and splash up, snow, slush all on people's cars. We had an 18-wheeler doing it. We almost had to slam on brakes because, it pops that stuff up on your windshield and we can barely see anything. So again, you just want to be courteous of drivers next to you, in front of you, and even behind you. You got to, what the driver instructor told me yesterday, you want to take those elementary driving tips that you learned when you had your learner's permit and put those into place right now. So like I said, I'm a forever learner. So I learned some things at that driving school yesterday. So again, take your time. If you find yourself slipping again, stay on the brakes. Most cars come with these analog brake systems. Just hold on to the wheel and hit the brakes and make sure you can glide somewhere safely. I'll say that.
All right. Action News 5's Tavarius Haywood just in the know across Memphis and the Mid-South. All 3 Mid-South states covered it for us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, T. Wood. We'll check in with you later.
All right, so we want to reiterate this once again because of the winter weather that we currently have. Memphis Police Department has implemented its inclement weather policy.
Yeah, so this means that officers will not respond to minor crashes. Instead, they say drivers should exchange names, addresses, phone numbers, insurance information, and tag numbers of the vehicles involved. Take photographs of the damage and tag numbers of vehicles involved. Both drivers should call the nearest Memphis Police Station or the Memphis Police Traffic Office to report the accident. And this should be done within 5 working days. An officer will complete a crash report or a non-investigated crash report.
Okay, so we've talked about the Memphis area, the city of Memphis,
Yeah.
and their inclement policy. Let's go down once again to DeSoto County. We got Action News 5's Garner Montgomery reporting live for us, giving us an update on where he is with all that snow.
Yeah. Hey, Garner, what's the latest?
So right now we're standing off of Main Street. Snow's falling a little bit heavier. The flakes are getting bigger. Right now I am over a parking lot. I don't actually know where the parking lot ends because I thought I was standing on the parking lot, but I kicked the ground and I'm hitting dirt. So it's pretty low visibility if you're going to be driving around here. We thought we were driving on pavement, but turns out when we were pulling up here, we were driving on the grass. So be extra careful if you're pulling to a parking lot. Don't want to get stuck. It is gorgeous out here. Across the street is a cemetery. Would be a great place to walk through and get some scenic views if it weren't falling a little too hard right now to really enjoy this weather fully. But maybe over the next couple days, you might want to go take a walk and check out some of the wintry sights. Right now, definitely a little bit too snowy. Still some cars going down the road. Looks like Main Street's been pretty well treated, but some cars are going a little bit too fast for our taste. Make sure you're staying extra safe and watch out for those big trucks, those crazy people who like to go fast and like to test out their four-wheel drive. Make sure that you're staying safe, preferably at home if you have to go out. Drive slow, drive careful, and be aware that it does get sloshy, does get a little icy. You might have to put a little gas in the pedal for a few times, but it should be all right if you are taking every precaution you can. And as for the snowfall, it is actually getting a lot thicker than it was earlier. It was pretty low earlier, but the snowfall in the past, like maybe 10 minutes, has actually, I can actually visibly tell the difference in the snowfall. Right now it's still up to my ankles, but it was a little bit lower here. So we're definitely seeing this snow still accumulate even after so many hours of snowfall. So we can expect this to stick around pretty much all weekend long and maybe even past that. So definitely some time to enjoy the snow, but also be extra careful out there. I'll send it back to the studio unless you'll have any questions.
Yeah, so Garner, just a real quick question here. You know, we've seen the snow accumulate, and even in your live shot, it's coming down pretty hard. Is there one lane of traffic in each direction on the interstates and the major highways that you're seeing that's relatively clear?
Yes, so it's going to be about 2, maybe 3 lanes on each side. It's northbound, southbound, wherever which way you're going. You're going to see a couple lanes cleared up. Some will be more clear than others. That depends on which one travelers are taking, and that's the more well-trodden paths. Definitely on the interstate, it's been very, very well done. Whenever I was driving here, it was on the early morning hours, started from Midtown at 8:45 down here to South Haven to be able to set up for this show, and it was relatively safe. Some cars were driving past me and I was a little worried for them, but for us it was a nice travel until we got into Mississippi. It started to accumulate a little bit more and there were still some people treating the roads, so definitely it will fluctuate between the roads are clear, they're feeling great, or the roads might need a little plowing as we continue throughout the day, but that's something that is being worked on constantly. And I would say if you have to pick a lane, pick the clearest lane where you can see the pavement and you can see the lines on the side, and you should be able to get to your destination if you have to. Of course, we recommend that you stay at home.
Absolutely. All right, Garner, thank you so much for reporting live for us in DeSoto County. We appreciate it.
All right, we got traffic tracker Taylor Tucker. And Taylor, give us an overview. I mean, you've been on the air since 4 o'clock this morning, and you've been giving us live updates of the traffic. How bad has it gotten, and where are we now?
Is it not Saturday yet? I've lost track of time at this point. Yeah, it's been pretty busy since the 4 o'clock hour. I noticed, though, you know, I was tossing and turning last night. This is like my Super Bowl, you know, and it wasn't too crowded out there on the roadways, and that's what we really like to see. We didn't want everyone out and about on the roadways because that was going to make a mess. Now, obviously, there have been a few accidents, but at 10:49 in the morning, we're looking on up there. I want to show you what it looks like outside this morning. Take a look at this. This is 40 at Chambers Chapel. If you were with us about 10 to 15 minutes ago, I was talking about an accident in this area. It has since cleared. So there you have it. You can travel in this area like that car that just moved on out of our shot there. Of course, not the most ideal driving conditions, but we have a lane that's kind of visible, open for you, so you can travel within that area in your westbound or eastbound direction. Take a look at this. This is 40 near 385. We also had a stalled out semi truck in this area that had traffic at a standstill for quite some time, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes. That's not the case this morning. So if 40 is a part of your route, even those of you traveling along 40 in that westbound direction, making your way near the flyover, you can travel in that area. It's open for you, but obviously we've been saying it all morning long. We don't really want you out on the roadways, but now you gotta go get that check, gotta go to work. So I understand if you have to get out and about on the roadways. Take a look at your traffic flow map this morning. We're seeing a little bit of green finally popping up, and that's really likely because the roadways are for the most part kind of empty out there, is not too crowded. So as you're hitting the interstate system this morning, you'll notice a few things. A, light traffic. B, not the best driving conditions. And C, here's the thing. I've noticed a lot of stalled out vehicles that are parked over on the shoulder. They were involved in early morning accidents and now they're just still parked there. So just that's also something to be on the lookout for. But my friends in Arkansas, my friends here in Memphis and Mississippi, I think things are looking up for us, but still don't let your guard down. Take it easy on the roadways.
All right, Taylor, thank you again for that update on the roads. Of course, a major issue and concern for a lot of folks out there throughout the Mid-South this morning. And for those using MATA, of course, we've been following delays to your routes.
Yeah, Interim CEO Bakara Malden gave us an update about what's happening with this winter weather and all the snow in town. Take a listen.
You know, our crews are out all over region wide in West Tennessee. You know, we're always going to see the toughest spots crossing the bridges, the I-40, I-55 bridge, as well as that flyover. It's going to create some slippery mess, as you want to say, as it continues to fall. And as well as on 385, you know, those elevated bridges along that area is a concern spot as well.
All right, we apologize. That was actually Nicole Lawrence with the Tennessee Department of Transportation.
Right. So now we want to talk with the MATA interim director there, Bakari Malden, because she was talking about how MATA is going to be doing the best they can until 6 o'clock this evening to get those routes running on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We are operating our regular fixed route service that will end at 6 p.m. today. And on Saturday, the start time will be at 7 a.m. and it will end at 6 p.m. Our MATA Plus service is on life-sustaining trips only, and our Ready and Groove on-demand service is suspended for today and tomorrow. And our transit center lobbies will be open today from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, if you have any questions about where your bus is or if your bus is running, please be sure to subscribe to the Omni Alerts. And also we have alert banners on our website. We have extended the hours of our call center. Our call center it should have opened up at 5 a.m. until 7 p.m. today, and will be open from 6:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. on Saturday as well. Now, in addition to our regular transportation services, we are happy to support the warming center operation. And if persons need a ride to the warming center, they can call 901-297-1680, and MATA will be dispatched to pick them up and transport them to the warming center. Otherwise, you can always call 297-MATA to our customer service line, and we will be happy to help you get to where you need to go.
All right. Again, that was Bakara Malden. Right now, we want to take a look at some incredible video. This is Strayhorn Elementary and High School from Tate County, Mississippi. This video is from Sean Michael Maurice O'Neill. You can see the area is just covered in snow on this first alert weather day. No surprise there. Beautiful shot there. Of course, that was earlier this morning before the sun came up.
Right, all those kids getting those snow days there. Tennessee Brewery picture here from downtown Memphis. The snow on top of some of the area there of the Tennessee Brewery, right where that courtyard is. Tennessee Brewery downtown, pretty consistent with what we've been seeing all morning long in downtown Memphis.
And then this is a video of Southwind. This is the 17th hole. Beautiful, beautiful view there along the course. And of course, a much different picture than the last time we were there. Our first, I keep saying first alert because it's first alert weather day, but our Action News 5 morning team for the FedEx St. Jude Championship.
And finally, there is our evening anchor, Joy Redmond, showing 7 inches of snow in her backyard in the town of Collierville. She is surprised, so are we, but after all the reporting that we've done, we're not really surprised of seeing 7 inches in Collierville because it has been snowing nonstop since last night.
Yeah, and you prepared us for this, our first alert weather team, and of course meteorologist Eric Brill preparing us for this. So again, like you said, not a surprise. It is just interesting to see it when it's in your face though, and if you're driving in it.
Yeah. Oh, it's something. There's no doubt about that. And I was trying to figure out, even as far as the what camera we are, what we were looking at here in the background, looks like the M Bridge, but you know, usually you could see this no problem as far as the M Bridge goes here, but the snow's been coming down here at a pretty good clip. At Mud Island, certainly a lot of snow, and that's really the case throughout the Mid-South. So not the nicest of weather conditions we've ever seen, but that's just kind of the way that it works here. And I still think we're going to see the snow lingering around here for the next few hours too. It's not like we're done with this, and some of the heaviest snow bands that we have seen today are literally happening right now, kind of stretching from Marianna to West Memphis to Millington, scooting back to the northeast towards Brownsville. So buckle up, folks. That's kind of what we're looking at here for our snow totals up to this point. And these are radar estimates. These aren't necessarily exactly what we've seen here, but at least gives you a good idea. The high spot right now near Marianna at 10.7 inches, but over towards Tunica about 10.5 inches. So even as far as the heavy amounts go, kind of bullseye the area. Talking about the past few days where Lee, as well as St. Francis, Tunica, DeSoto, and Shelby counties all intersect there. I know they don't intersect directly, but it's kind of worked out well. But what a day.
Absolutely.
What a day indeed. Okay, we are done here on the Action News 5 digital channel, but stay tuned for Action News 5 midday with Ariana Poindexter and Jerry Askin and Eric Brill.
Yeah, we'll have much more coverage for you coming up in just a bit at 11 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Morning routine to get out the door.
Yeah, we know the streets. We know that this street, hey, it's a Waffle House right across the corner, or it's a pothole that we just cannot avoid. We know what we're talking about.
That is totally news you could use each and every morning.
Prior to the COVID-19 crisis, 37 million Americans lived with food insecurity every day. And they relied on a network of food banks and food pantries and soup kitchens across the country to help them meet that need.
Thank you, Jesus.
That network mobilized the day this pandemic broke and went to work getting ready.
We're responding to municipalities that are calling us for extra food.
Donated food is drying up. Food drives can't happen right now. The only way we can get food is to go buy it on the open market, and we're competing with everyone for it.
We need to get more resources. We need to get more help. We can't do this alone.
This is your opportunity to help, and here's where you get to be a hero. Find your local food bank and make a donation today. Allow them to buy more food, rent more trucks, hire more people, and meet this need as it continues to grow every day across the country.
When television first came to the state of Tennessee, the tower wasn't built on Rocky Top, and the cameras were not focused on Nashville's opera. The birth of WMC brought the golden age of television to Memphis first. And since that day, we have given the Bluff City a voice like never before.
We are 12% of America, 40% of Memphis, and we have something to say.
From our